10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Look at what in my opinion, one of the best goalkeepers, the best goalkeeper right now.
We need you to think that you're going to be playing for games. So they want
I'm a little bit worried for tomorrow's game. I saw a stat online.
Sergio
Has a bit of a waste of time in the world.
He's going to play up and down. Try to defend it. We only have two men now in the team.
I know people have gone on about if we lose the cup, it could be a bit of a situation. I hope to God it
Sergio
doesn't.
Productions.
Yo, welcome to the Blue Lounge, welcome to the stream. I hope everyone is having a good evening. I hope everyone is having a blessed evening. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you guys are good. Big up to everyone. Welcome to the stream. This is the post-match reaction video for Chelsea Brighton, or Brighton Chelsea. This is the post-match reaction. I know it's a day late, but I thought I'd get it done today better than yesterday. Therefore, the video would have gone on quite late. And with my streams going on for a good couple of hours, 3 hours, it would have just been too long and too late for a lot of us. So I thought I'd keep it to the following day, till today. And I hope to discuss the game, some of the news surrounding the game, some of the information surrounding the game that has come apparent, the situation on social media in respect to the game. That is what we're going to be addressing today. We're going to be also rewatching some of the interviews, some of the press conferences surrounding the game to get insight to what Tuchel said after the game. Hopefully to be able to address it in a more rational manner. That's what we're doing tonight. That's what we're going to be doing for the next couple of hours. I've got some exciting streams planned for you guys. The first one will be tomorrow. I have a stream planned for you guys with one of my one of my favorite YouTubers. He's going to be here tomorrow with us for a Q&A session. And then we have another one planned for next week with another great YouTuber. So hopefully we've got some good content coming your way. So sit back, relax, get your drink, get your snacks ready as we jump in to the stream. I've got with me Boogie Man today. Boogie, how are you?
Hey Mo, I'm good. And people in the chat, hope
Big
you
up.
guys have a good day. And let's talk today, man. Let's talk.
Today it looks like it's only me and you. Everyone else is not
Now
here.
they're
I don't know. They better be coming. Otherwise, I'm
they're
going
coming.
to start firing some people, man. I'm going to start firing people. I need to address my staffing situation, man. My human resource team ain't doing a good job. So let's say hello and welcome to the people in the chat. Big up to everyone. We've got Shock Goals TV. Welcome, Luke Mudway. Welcome to you, MCIG. Big up to you, my brother. Andreas Ibrahim, big up. Love the intro. I'm actually working on a new one. Because I have added some more people to my panel, and I want to introduce them or add them to my intro. So yeah, big up to you, Strong Pie J. You keep changing your name. What? Stone? It's not Strong. It's Stonage. You keep changing your name, but you've kept the picture the same. You keep changing your name, but you kept the picture the same. Big up, my man. Big up Mo. Big up Boogie. Big up to you. What's got Bill saying? Hi lads, just as well you waited until tonight. How about 24 hours? Agreed. Yeah, man. Nah, and I got a slight cold, so it's not getting better. Imam, big up to you. How are ya? How you doing? Yeah. Lawal, big up. Andon, big up to you. Big up to everyone. Big up to everyone jumping in. Big up to everyone jumping in. Guys in the chat, do us a favor. Am I lagging? Is there a lag? Because looks like. Let me know in the chat if I'm lagging. If the audio is lagging, let me know in the chat so I can try to address it. Hopefully, it's not. But if it is, in the chat, let me know. How is the audio? How is the video? Live streaming can be a bit of a pain. Also, I want to change this color. I think it's too bright. Let's go with something darker. Yeah, that looks better. All right. Yes, it's lagging. Slight lag. All right. Happened twice. All right. Hopefully it sorts itself out. All right. Why is my screen bigger than Boogeyman's? That's better. Yeah.
You have to treat your guests with some no respect.
Actually, let's do it this way. Yo, this is the way to do it. Man.
What are the Boogeyman fans? What are you guys?
But, yo, it's all about Boogeyman today. It's all about Boogeyman today. All right, listen. Let's watch a post-match interview, and then we'll watch the post-match press conference. So the interview. Let me just. Yep, it's just under 3 minutes. We'll watch that first, and then we will jump into post-match press conference. So this is an interview that Tuchel did after the game. Let's watch this and let's hear what he had to say.
It was going to be a tough night. It proved to be the case. What did you make of the performance?
We look tired, no? And we are. And it's like this. We knew they were well prepared. We knew they had more time, less games to prepare this match. And you see in the end, the reaction of the whistle. Stadium celebrates like a victory. Yeah. That's what you face, and we need also our full strength to overcome these obstacles. In the moment, it's difficult, so no blame for the team. We tried everything, but you can see that we're mentally tired.
You're mentally and physically tired.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah,
Look at our schedule.
How do you get across that then?
We need some days off. We have now 2 days off, and then we have 2 days to prepare the next match at home against Tottenham, and then the boys need some days off. There's no other solution.
The goal helped a little bit for a while. The Ziyech goal, a surprise shot, a bit of power. Lifted you for a little while.
Yeah, and of course you can survive with this goal. I mean, this is we can play a clean sheet, but we were under pressure, but it's also normal. I did not see many teams, like I said before, to control Brighton over 90 minutes. It is normal that they play brave and they bring people to your box and create chances. Should have, of course, if you can maybe take a chance, a half chance for a second goal, you can go out and win. This is what we normally would be up to. But in the moment, it's difficult to be too harsh on our players, because I know what's going on.
Yeah, Hakim didn't celebrate the goal. He kind of gave it a bit of kind of, I could show you what I can do. It seemed like an angry response to the criticism he'd had.
Well, hopefully.
You want
good.
that?
Yeah, happy. He can score 20 more and not celebrate. I have no problem.
But him and Lukaku were having a conversation pretty much through the game at half-time as well. Are they trying to work something out there? Is there something?
Hope as well.
Yes.
I mean, it's normal that they talk. It's normal that they're not happy.
Yeah.
And it's normal that they don't like it if we say that we want more from them. As normal. But I think, like, even in the reaction of the goal, you can see that we're tired. We are relieved that we have a goal, but it's not like it's not the pure joy, because we are like saving energy even there. This is my feeling of the moment and of the team right now.
Thank you, Thomas.
Welcome.
All right. Before we continue and watch the press conference, I want to address this particular post-match interview. Nick Blue, welcome to the stream. Oh, he came and he went. Yeah, Nick Blue has connection issues. Yeah, so internet connection issues. Just to clarify, internet connection issues. All right, so Boogie, before we look at the press conference, I want to look at this particular post-match interview, because a lot of what he said in that post-match interview has been used to fuel a lot of newspaper reports, a lot of debates on social media, based on literally what he said. He said then. To be honest with you, I haven't seen the full press conference. I've seen clips of it, so maybe there's things in that press conference that are also used. So I want to address that. Before we get into the press conference. And Nick, you have to go out and come back in again because you're not fully connected. So go out and come back in again, Nick. Woogie, the Hakim Ziyech goal celebration, the discussion between Hakim Ziyech and Lukaku after the game. I think it was after half time, actually. They had that discussion. And also the apparent problems we are having in the dressing room. Now, I'll leave the dressing room situation till after we look at the press conference. But I want to address the Hakim Ziyech celebration and the conversation between Lukaku and Hakim Ziyech before we look at the press conference. Now, Hakim Ziyech did not celebrate after he scored a fantastic goal, a fantastic strike. And to be fair, he's attempted a lot of these shots from outside the box in the previous games. In this game, he normally hits the first man and the ball is deflected. So it was good to see that that shot make its way to the back of the net. And the celebration from Hakim Ziyech was muted. Now, a lot of people have said that the reason for this is because there is a problems in the dressing room. Others have said it's because he feels he's been targeted by the media, by the fans. And Tuchel said in his interview that it's because the players are tired. They are fatigued. They are not in the mood, if I could put it that way. Now, which is it? I want to get your thoughts on this in a very summarized manner, and then we'll discuss it in more detail after we hear the press conference. So before I get you to come in, Boogie, I want to say hello to Couch and welcome Nick Blue again. So big up to you guys.
Big up.
Yeah, hello.
Big up, Nick. Big up, Couch. All right, Boogie, take it away, mate.
Yeah, first I will start by saying I'm not a psychologist, but any abnormal reactions is always the result of a frustration, or is always some sort of difficulty of handling the pressure, or you want to send a proper message out, or you feel like you've been prevented to do something that you think is your right. So the way Ziyech behave, we cannot sit down here and say, oh, it's normal. It is not normal for Ziyech, who doesn't score goal on a regular basis, to score a goal and just not celebrate it and show that face. Like, okay, let me go back to my half and let's start the game again, or something like that. It's not normal. We all play football before. It's not normal. So, but I cannot go further than that. I don't know what exactly is going on at in the dressing room. The response Tuchel gave, though, it doesn't make any sense. He should just know not to throw meat to the British press. It just doesn't make any sense. Everybody will tell you, what are you talking about? People play up to 90-something minutes. When they score goal, even Sunday league, people cannot run. They run. When they score goal, they celebrate. They go back. The energy, the boost is there. And maybe 10 minutes later, they feel like, oh, I should not be doing all those celebrations because now I'm tired. But when you celebrate, when you score, we celebrate. That's part of the football game. So the excuses that you
Boogie, and to emphasize, this is a goal in the Premier League. It's not. It's not a cup that is in. Yeah. So it's that goal is valuable.
So more Tuchel trying to just put a blanket on it. More he's getting our attention that something is going that he's trying to hide. And the answer was not the right one. If I was Tuchel, I'll just say, okay, I will talk to him and ask him why. But other than that, I have no answer. Just you're not a psychologist. You don't know exactly if he's tired. And the other thing is, I don't even know if it is a question, because the other teammate run to him and hug him. He's probably the only one that didn't really celebrate it. But if you notice that the other teammate went, so it's not even a question. It shouldn't be a subject. But if Tuchel did not try to justify that by saying players are tired, it's just no, they're not tired. Something is going on, but you don't have to tell it and just move on. Tuchel sometimes talk too much. That's my problem with him, especially with the British media going after him. He needs to be a little smarter. It's not going the right way right now.
Yeah. No, there is something behind this. There's something behind this because fatigue doesn't does not compute under these circumstances. I'm going to bring Nick and Couch in, but not just yet. I want to finish the clips. So we're going to watch the press conference, listen to that, and then I will get Couch and Nick to come in on this particular topic and the other topics that we need to address. So let's see what was said in the post-match press conference. Here we go.
Okay, welcome everyone. If you'd like to ask a question, please raise your hand. We're going to start with Jim. Once you've been promoted to a panelist, unmute yourself and off we go. You there, Jim? No. Okay, try Paul Gilmore at Sky.
Thank you. Hi, Thomas.
Hi.
Thomas, that's one win in 7 league games. I just wondered, where do you think it's not quite gone right for your team in the league recently, and how do you fix it?
Won twice against Tottenham in between, and had some other tough fixtures. I cannot even tell you the last 7 games in the league. So I have no answer for that.
In terms, it's specifically in terms of the league competition, because obviously Chelsea every season are expected to be challenging for that. How concerning is just that particular run in league fixtures? How do you find that more consistency?
I answered this question 100 times. If you look at our situation of long-term injuries, of key players injured, and of COVID, and you look at our schedule, you will have the answer.
Cheers, Paul. We're going to move on to John Cross.
Hi, Thomas. Can you just assess the performance? Perhaps really. I mean, obviously you went ahead, weren't able to hang on to it. What?
There is a better way to make money with Amazon than selling physical products. Introducing.
Why couldn't the team press home that advantage?
Because we're tired, we're mentally tired and physically tired, and you can see it in our performance. That's as easy as that.
Okay, we'll move on to Jim next. Jim Conlon.
Hi, Thomas. That triple substitution there on 78 minutes, they seem to give you an extra incentive there for the final closing stretch. Should those substitutions have kept...
Should all what? Substitution?
Sorry, Jim, that was cut out at the end. Were you going to say...
Yeah, so should those triple substitutions that came in 78 minutes, Thomas, do you feel maybe those substitutions should have come a bit earlier?
Well, if I had the impression that we needed earlier, I would have done earlier. It's you never know. The time passed by. It was we could have done earlier, but I had to wait if Brighton maybe changes their structure. We struggled with Marcos Alonso and the yellow card, so there were some reason not to do it earlier, and that's why we did it in the last 15 minutes.
Okay, we've got Andy Dillon up next. Andy.
Hi, Thomas. Hiya. I just wondered if you could talk to us just about going forwards now. I just listening to you on the TV. You were saying 2 days off. Does that mean, are you giving the whole squad a couple of days off before you start to prepare for the Spurs game? And just
2 days off means 2 days off.
Right. So no training for anybody, just
2 days off.
And how badly do you think they need that?
So badly. I mean, this is you can say an excuse or whatever, but it's like this. I mean, look at our schedule. Look at the schedule. When we arrived at Man City, we had a Carabao Cup match in between. They did not. Now we arrive here. They have more days to prepare. They have the whole week to prepare before. It's like this. We play since November. I think we play since November. The team plays, and we need to recharge the batteries, and we need to deconnect. This is my feeling. That's why I give the players 2 days off, and then we will prepare 2 days. We will use Friday, Saturday to prepare Sunday, because there's the next game against Tottenham.
Cheers, Andy. You're going to move on to Sam Wallace.
Hi, Thomas. We don't often see you like this, where you sound quite tired yourself as well, and a bit fed up. I mean, has it affected you as well?
No, because it is hard to analyze games like this. I mean, we have to respect the opponent. It's very, very tough to play at Brighton, and they played it like a cup game. The noise at the end of the whistle, when he blew the whistle at the end, was like if we lost the game, and it can very easily give you the impression that we lost, but we didn't lose. And other teams will struggle to get points here, and it's even tough if you're in full strength and if you're not tired. So there are some obstacles to overcome here, and I simply refuse today to be angry or because it's not about the ambition and not that we want. You can, of course, we were a bit lucky to be 1-0 ahead, and you can take advantage of it, score a second one, but we struggle to show the quality, and we know the reasons behind it, and of course we demand a lot from us, but this is not the moment to be too harsh with the team.
Cheers, Sam. I'm going to move on to James Robson.
Hi, Thomas.
Hi.
Talking about the schedule and how extraordinary that is, I wonder Have you ever experienced anything like this in your managerial career? And when you say that about the players being tired, how much of a concern is that going into what feels like a really big game against Tottenham on Sunday?
Yeah, we're so happy that we have at least 4 days. I mean, look at our last week, and then you know what we are talking about. We had within 7 days 3 away games, it's not only about playing; it's about traveling. It's about not sleeping. And we don't do this 1 week and we complain. We don't complain now. We just try to explain why a performance can look sometimes like this in the middle of January in a away game at Brighton. This can happen. And if you tell me this never happened before to any Chelsea team or any team in the Premier League, I can only laugh because it happened. And if we do this since November, so we arrive in a game where we don't reach our full potential. Okay, welcome to reality. I mean, you cannot be surprised. I mean, we want more, we want to do it better, but in the end, you have to accept it. That's okay. We take a draw and we go. We tried everything. We tried hard, but it's a certain level of fatigue that you can feel.
Cheers, James. Going to finish off with Jacob Steinberg. Last one.
Hi, Thomas. I guess it's not really about individuals tonight, but I just wonder what you thought of Romelu. Did you see positive signs from him in the second half?
I will not talk about single players today. Not about Romelu. It's too much questions about Romelu, and there's too much answers about Romelu. Romelu is by far not the problem. He's part of the solution. Believe me.
Cheers, everyone.
Sorry, I had my mic on mute. People, we heard what Tuchel had to say. We heard the way he approached that press conference. We heard the questioning, the line of questioning. Yes, sorry, Calvin, I was muted. I just realized. The line of questioning. It's targeting him, targeting his team, targeting his performances. Can be expected. That's what the media is going to do. Let's look at the performance. Let's look at the situations, and then I'm going to open the discussion to you guys in the panel and also to the people in the chat. The game came on the back of a very heavy, congested fixture. The team played a new formation. It was a 4-2-3-1 setup that changed at points in the game, but predominantly it was a 4-2-3-1 setup. The onus was on us as we are looking to continue the fight. We are looking to maintain a good position in the league. Brighton were always playing on the opportunities, as they had in the previous game. They got the late equalizer in the last game, and they got us again this game. The performance on the whole was not good. The best players in that game were our defenders. I would say Thiago Silva and Rudiger. Everyone else had issues in that game, had passing problems, had finishing problems, had creating opportunities, problems. Generally, it was a poor performance. And yes, you can see the team is tired. You can see that the performance was that of a team that has been drained. The fact that we saw two of our players having an argument on the pitch, naming Lukaku and Ziyech, is not a good sign. Ziyech scoring a goal from outside the box, a very good strike, and not celebrating, not a good sign. But is it the fatigue, or is it what the media is pushing, the narrative the media is pushing, that there is infighting within the Chelsea dressing room? And we know if that is the case, it's only going to end up in one way. Is there a problem, or is it fatigue? I want you guys to tell me your thoughts, and I want you guys to give me your analysis in respect to the game. I'll start with the couch critic. Let's welcome VJ. VJ, welcome. But we'll start with the couch critic. Let me hear your opinion on this situation, couch.
Big up, fellas. I hope everyone's well. Sorry I'm late. I was just catching up on some stuff. But
Boogeyman was early. Boogeyman was early, so
it's a bizarre world. I tell you what, man. Everything's upside down right now. But it's a lot of things to touch on. I'm going to start with what you were speaking on, the idea that there is disharmony in the dressing room. I would expect there to be. They haven't won a lot of football games the last little while. If guys are professionals, are getting like agitated at the fact that they're not winning, then they shouldn't be at this club anyways. There should be some turmoil. There should be some angst. There should be some like animosity right now. We're not playing good football. So if you're going to come back into the dressing room and be all happy and chipper when you won one game in 7 or something like that, then you have no right to be at this football club. So I'd expect there to be a little bit of like anger in the dressing room and like trying to figure things out. Aside from that, this whole Tuchel press conference was very, very eye-opening for me. One of the aspects that I focused on in my video that's coming out later today, plug, is the idea that what Tuchel's assessment, what he's saying, what he's assessed the club as being, and what the action is based on his assessment are in stark contrast. The guy's talking about, the squad being fatigued and, we're really mentally and physically fatigued. Yet when it comes to games, he's playing these guys, all the time without any break. Like the first substitution came at 80 minutes. And then he says that he saw them as being fatigued, but like he didn't see a need to change them because Alonso was on a yellow and he had to wait. And like that makes no sense to me whatsoever. You've recognized that the squad is tired. You haven't seen any semblance of your football whatsoever. Let's be honest. Like that did not look like a Thomas Tuchel game at all. Like we weren't in control of it at any point in the game. And we didn't create one decent scoring opportunity. The goal that we did get was just brilliance from Ziyech, like a great strike. But everything else, the build-up play, the system of play was non-existent. Is that because we changed the system? We went to a 4-3-2-1, and possibly, yeah. Guys weren't really up to speed with what that particular setup was asking for, and the communication wasn't really coming from the sidelines either. Guys were just running around and like. It looked like we didn't have any idea of what we're trying to do in the final third. So to me, as much as like I agree with a lot of what I've been seeing online is whatnot, is like the attacking intent in the squad, the players that we've assembled haven't really gelled or shown any sort of chemistry or anything of that sort. I agree with that, but I also agree with the fact that like Thomas Tuchel has to get it together. If you're talking about like Chelsea establishing chemistry, you're chopping and changing every game. You know what I mean? Like there's no cohesion in that front three. None of those guys have any understanding. That was the first time we saw those three players together, by the way, too. We're already into this. How far are we into the season? This is the first time we've seen those three players play together in the attacking three. And for me, like that's down to Tuchel. Like stick with attacking three that you think is going to give you the best performances, and give them a run of games, 4 or 5 games where they can develop some sort of chemistry and understanding on the pitch. Because right now, the chopping and changing and the out of form players is just compounding a bad situation right now. And yeah, he's got to find a way out of it.
Well, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. We have had a different attack literally every game. I can't remember when we've had 2 consecutive games we've had the same attack. I mean, maybe also because the scheduling rotation is important, but at the same time having the ability to build chemistry and build rapport between the attackers is important. So no, I agree with you. But do you also think that Tuchel is at fault for certain issues? Number one, for the game yesterday, his substitutions. It seemed like he forgot that he had substitutions, that he had players that he can bring on, and only realized at the 78th minute, oh damn, I haven't been in the substitutions. Let me just put all three of them on at the same time.
You know what? That's not the first time we saw that either, though. Like this is this is one of the criticisms that many people have for Thomas Tuchel. He takes too long to make substitutions. Like when you feel like the energy and the verve of the game is being like taken out of it, and everyone sees it, and he seems to wait until like the last dying minutes of the game before he makes a substitution, and he doesn't give the players that come onto the pitch enough time to get to grips with the pace of the game. You know, like you can't bring on 3 substitutions in the 80th minute and expect them to come to grips with the game at that point. Like it doesn't make any sense to me, especially for guys that don't really necessarily have the same sort of understanding as, like, all of these things culminate the same thing. You've rotated the squad completely out of form, like because we have no chemistry. Then you're bringing guys in that don't have any form and no chemistry together, and you're giving them 10 minutes to find their form. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And then, you know, the other thing too, like that I want to touch on is just as another thing, as an aside. I know I mentioned it in our group chat and whatnot, and I think that it's something that needs to be brought to the fore. I think Thomas Tuchel needs somebody that understands Chelsea on his staff and understands the Premier League. I mean, we kind of missed the trick at this point, but you know, back in the days when we had like Steve Holland always on the bench, no matter what the manager was, it was to navigate things like Christmas, like people that have never been to the Premier League before that don't understand the intensity of that period, you know, and only compiled by the fact that we have injuries and, you know, COVID to navigate as well. Like you need somebody that understands that, you know, like he's never been through a period like that before. And I feel like he needed to have somebody on the staff that just understands, has been through that before and can help him navigate that a little bit better. You know, we just haven't had that. And, you know, this whole December period has been just, you know, compiled by the fact that the FA don't want to give us any breaks or anything like that. It's all culminated on the fact that
apparently the Premier League is going to reevaluate its postponement process.
Yeah, but what does that mean for us now? You know, now that
nothing.
You know, the time to reevaluate that was before the Christmas period. You know, and look at like what kind of stress you're putting on these players and whatnot. What kind of stress are you putting on the clubs? What is the quality of the football that we're putting on display right now? That's a reflection of the FA, of the Premier League. You know, the football has been terrible. You know, not just with Chelsea. The football has been terrible. And that's the presentation that they're trying to put out to sell people, to tell them to come watch this game. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable.
No, I think what the Premier League is doing, it's actually taking the joy of the Premier League, because they're forcing players to play when they're not 100%, and that's going to only reduce the quality of what the games are going to be about. Let me move over and speak to Nick. Nick Blue. You've heard the press conferences. You've seen the game. How do you evaluate the current situation at Chelsea Football Club, and specifically within the squad?
Yeah, I've got a lot of points to make. Not just about not just about the game.
Sure.
I'll start with the game anyway. But the game was the worst I ever seen Chelsea play since a long time ago. Can't remember the last time we played so bad. Everyone played, like you said in the beginning, everyone was really bad apart from Kepa, Rudiger and Silva. They're the only 3 who can hold their heads high. The rest were completely -0 to what I think, especially Mount. I thought Mount wasn't on the pitch at one stage. I forgot, because you hardly saw him. Cho, you saw him, but doing his usual things, missing, trying to dribble, shooting with his eyes closed. It was terrible. And Lukaku was bad as well, but he was making some runs. But it's the same old story. They can't find him, and he was bad as well, but it doesn't work. And the way when I saw Ziyech and Lukaku start arguing, it didn't look very good. And I think there's something bigger going on in the dressing room. You can see from even Tuchel's eyes and the way he's talking. It's not like before when he was talking with confidence, with different passion. I can't see that now. So for me, it's got to be something in the dressing room. Some players are not, getting along with each other. I could be wrong, but it looks that way. It looks really bad. And his press conference.
Nick, just before you go on to the press conference, why do you think we have that situation with Lukaku specifically? Why? The interview, or is it something else?
Yeah, since we can't lie, since that interview, things have got worse. All right, we've had good cup games. That's the only thing. But apart from that, being in Tottenham, he's since that Lukaku interview, they can't, Tuchel can't find a way to play with him. Even without him before, without him, we wasn't great. We weren't scoring a lot of goals. We were relying on Jorginho for penalties mostly. But you can see. I don't know the way he looks and the way he talks. I don't believe it's just tiredness. All this is something mentally going on, and and they're professionals. Don't forget what sort of money these guys are on. So I don't believe in this tiredness rubbish. I remember when Chelsea only had a 13, 14-man squad, and they never mind they were tired. The manager didn't, or the players. They just got on with it. Now, you get a few games, and I'm tired. And they get stupid money before they didn't get any money. They got, just like a wage to live on. That's what they got. But they never moaned, these players. We used to have a 12-man squad. One substitute was allowed only. And they never moaned. We had great games. But, that's why in those days, when we had a bad game, we didn't, it didn't feel like this. It didn't feel at all like this. But this day and age, it's a lot different. They've been spoiled. These players have been spoiled.
Nick, I want to ask you this question. Over the past 2 games specifically, we had Havertz starting. We've had Havertz starting the game. The last game we had him with Lukaku. Previous game we had him starting, I believe. A lot of people are questioning the reasoning behind keeping Havertz out of the starting lineup when Lukaku isn't really scoring.
Yeah, it does.
Do you think Tuchel is giving fuel to criticism by not playing Havertz, by sticking with Lukaku? Do you think he's fueling it, or do you think he's doing it to avoid the criticism that comes with leaving Lukaku out, $100 million player?
No, I think he's playing him every game now because he's $100 million, and he just wants him to start scoring. And he's playing him every game, but he can't find the right combination to play with him. He's tried all 4 of them, hasn't he? He's tried with Mount, he's tried with Pulisic, he's tried with Ziyech. He's tried with everyone, but they don't seem to get along. For some reason, that's why it looks like. That's why I said it looks like something in the dressing room. Some players are not happy with others, and it doesn't seem like Aspie's getting them all together as well, like he used to. It doesn't look good. Just the way they look, it doesn't look right to me.
All right. Let's move to VJ. VJ, like I said, to Couch, to Nick, you've seen the interviews, the press conference. You saw the game. You've read the stories and the articles that have been published since. The assumption that there is internal rifts. There is division in the dressing room. Tuchel's future is at risk. All kinds of stories. What's your take on the situation?
First of all, thanks for having me here, Mo. And big up to the chat, big up to the panel, everyone who's present on the channel. Just wanted to start by saying that, when the team is down, that's when you actually see how they, react to situations and how they get up, right? And this is the time that we as Chelsea fans need to support the team. So I, for one, as a Chelsea fan, I'm going to be supportive of the team. I'm going to be sympathetic in this situation because I think this sympathy is something that the team deserves right now. Because when I look at it on the whole, I don't think so. There is a lot of tactical issues. There are here or there, one or two issues that we can probably pick out and then talk about it. But then on the whole, we don't actually have that huge of a problem that the media is making it out to be. Right. And talking about the fixture congestions and all of that Thomas Tuchel brought out, I don't think so. He is wrong in that. When you look at Man City, it's probably a blessing in disguise for them. They were knocked out of the EFL on 28th October. After that, they had no EFL games. We played extra 3 games during that period of time. We played extra 2 Premier League games than them. So they played 12 Premier League games, 3 Champions League games, 1 FA Cup game. We played 14 Premier League games, 3 Champions League games, 3 EFL games, 1 FA Cup game. So in terms of number as well, the number is actually huge. And when you go into this period without your wing back, in a wing back based system, all of a sudden you lose your wing backs. It's not easy, when you just put in some other player and then you start, okay, fine, 3-4-3 is not working, the wing backs are not working, I'm going to pull them off, I'm going to adapt to 4-2-3-1 and probably play with Aspi in the back and Alonso on the other side. I don't think so that would probably work as much as what we would want to. I don't think so football tactics is that simple that it can be adapted in a week or 2. Otherwise, we could have seen a lot more people doing that. Maybe Tuchel was able to do it once he came into our team against Wolves and then in the future as well. Probably because our team was structured and that particular system suited us. And he just had to tweak a little bit and then started working. Now, I don't think so. He's got the other He's got another formation that could be exclusively working for this setup right now, and that's where he is a bit struggling. And also, we have to weigh in the factor that Couch Critics said this is the first ever time that Thomas Tuchel is actually managing in the winter season. He's not had experience on that, so that could be another contributing factor as well. I guess every manager has that adaptation factor when it comes to a different league. We haven't seen that from Thomas Tuchel because in the first 6 months itself, he's won the Champions League. So we thought, okay, fine, he doesn't need to have an adaptation phase. But actually, the adaptation phase is right now, I believe. This is the adaptation phase that he's going through because this is the first December that he's encountered. And he's struggling a bit, but I think he is someone who will learn from it very quickly. If you give the same time as that of a Klopp or a Pep, I hope Chelsea board does that. I think this man is going to do a lot of wonders for us. But time is something that we have to give the manager. And at the same time, this media frenzy is something that it's something that is bothering me because this is having a direct impact on the players. Nick Blue called out rightly. We had 12 members, 13 members on the pitch during earlier days. They used to not comply and all that. Even if they complained, they didn't have the social media outreach that it could reach you and me, and we would be talking at YouTube and making this even more a bigger issue, right? Those were the times where there was a complete disconnect between the players and the managers and the media itself, and then the people who are watching the game. But now that connection has become very closer, and now we're feeling it. If Lukaku talks something in the Italian media, we get the news immediately, and then we are starting to publish multiple YouTube videos, and this becomes an even more huger issue. I'm not saying this is wrong, but this is where we have to be very careful when we slander a team or a coach or a player or anyone, because the kind of impact that it has, now we know that it is negatively impacting the club. And I, for one, as a fan, wouldn't want to contribute to that even more. And that's why I'm going to say, I understand Tuchel. I understand what he's going through. But I think this is the right time to support him. February has always been good for Chelsea in the way that we come back. And I think we'll bounce back stronger.
All right, Vijay, I see what you're saying. and I agree with you, but at the same time, I think the fan base underestimate the power that they have. You see, the past 24 hours since the game, you would have seen a lot of clips, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of people on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram, big accounts who are supposedly Chelsea fans attack certain elements within the team in a way where it has no You see, I have criticized many a time performances, decisions, or the lack of. But it's always been done in a way that is directed to a specific, i.e., we're not finishing properly, i.e., we're not creating enough chances, i.e., we're not controlling the tempo of the game, things of that nature. But to say Tuchel doesn't know what he's doing, that's not something constructive. That's not something that you can build on.
Yeah.
If you were to criticize his substitutions, criticize them. You want to criticize his tactics, criticize. But to say he's useless, he's about to
Lampard could have done a better job. I saw Lampard could have done a better job.
Things of that nature, and this is the issue that I have with certain elements of the fan base, because I agree with you. Right now is the time to support the manager. I am not saying because we have free speech, we have the ability to criticize, and I do not want to stop people from criticizing, because I will do that. I will criticize, but we can't attack our own club, because right now our club is under attack by media, by opposition fans, and we have to be the ones to protect our club. We are the ones that need to be protecting our club, our squad, our manager.
Absolutely.
End of the day, this is the team that we support. And when we say we support, it's not that we clap and cheer when they do good and then stab them in the back when they're having issues and having problems. This is when we're supposed to be proper supporters and stand behind our team. The issue is we are the ones attacking the team right now. I personally think the reason why Hakim Ziyech didn't celebrate the goal has a lot to do with the way he's been targeted by certain elements of the fan base. Now, we have a problem in the fan base right now, and that is, we addressed this in the past, is player worship, idol worship. Where people are not following the team, but following the players, X player, Y player. And that is a problem. There's a problem. We'll address that in a minute. Let me hear from Boogeyman. Boogeyman, we got a little bit of feedback from you. I wanted to give me a more in-depth analysis in respect to the performance and in respect to Tuchel and the whole situation surrounding the club. Give me your broad insight and your broad perspective onto this. Let me hear it.
The fact that Tuchel keep playing Lukaku is, I'm trying to figure out exactly. Tuchel, a coach that just won us the Champions League, will be under pressure to play his 100 million striker that is not actually scoring. I can't figure it out. I just can't process that information properly, because I think if there's anybody that is as important in that dressing room, it should be Tuchel. Lukaku should not be that person. Again, my problem sometimes with Tuchel is the fact that he tend to, Okay, we have a team that won the Champions League last season. Lukaku was not part of it. I know that team does not score goals. But again, when Lukaku is not performing, why don't you just go back to your basics? He doesn't do that. And then I just don't see any path forward by the way Tuchel is managing the team right now. But at the same time, when he come out in the press, he's showing a lot of frustration. He's showing like his patience. His patience is running really thin. Like today press conferences, a lot of question was put to Tuchel, and he just, I have no answer for that. Move on. Or why did you ask this question? Move on. Like it's not a coach that that will have a chance to stay at Chelsea, because I'm not a media person, but when you're behaving like that, that's when they go after you the most. Like for me, Tuchel trust these players, and the player just decided to let him down. Mount is not happy, probably because he think, why Lukaku keep playing, why this guy keep playing, and but those people are not performing. Probably Ziyech is not happy because Tuchel probably told him, yo, man, if you don't start producing, you'll be on the transfer list. Those are speculation. Lukaku has his. When he was told that he can't even, he was losing the ball when he was not under pressure. Probably he's still sulking from that. So you can point out each player. I just feel like they're not happy. They're not motivated. So whose job is it to motivate our players? I think it is Lukaku. It is Tuchel. So if Tuchel cannot do that, then I feel like he actually need those 2 days holiday for the player, for himself also, because he need to think this through properly, how to rebuild a relationship with this player and get this player to listen to whatever he's trying to say. But because right now the communication is broken. That's how I see the whole thing at this point. And the only guy in that dressing room with his ass on fire is Tuchel. He will get fired if this is not solved. And we'll stand here. I mean,
Boogie. The way you said that, I straight away got the image in my head with him sitting there in the press conference with his arse on fire. Wow, what an image! What an image!
Sorry.
Continue.
We have a genius as a coach this time, and one or two people pointed out, that's his first season as in EPL. He may know certain things, and he may just refuse to listen to advice when it comes to EPL and how difficult this league is. And I know he is a small team person. He likes to work with 25, and that's it. He may be advised otherwise, but he said, no, I know how I manage it now. But he just needs to reset. He need those 2 days of himself and rethink this whole thing and come up with a better solution. And I'm also happy that we're going to go to that tournament where the team will be together, isolated a little from all those rumors and tension. So, but again, Chelsea fan, me as a Chelsea fan, I don't think at this point we should blame Tuchel for anything yet. Let him a chance to try to bring some solutions. If he can't, then I won't say much, because I know the Chelsea. I know Roman does not do what Arsenal does. Keep a coach that is not cannot coach. So again, tactically, Tuchel is the good one. Man management, I think he is the good one, but I think the league is new to him. So we need to give him a time to actually take a deep breath and reanalyze his principle when it comes to small team, when it comes to also how to manage this press. Like, if you don't care about the postponed game, don't talk about it. If you don't want to know the detail, what are the reasons, what are the parameters that are involved in the decision, don't comment about it. Don't try to show that you're frustrated, because If you don't even know the detail, you just wasted your energy. And in fact, at the end of the day, when you're frustrated, when you get asked about Lukaku, then you start saying stupidity. Of course, everybody in this panel know how I feel about Lukaku, but I don't think Tuchel is allowed to say that in public. No, he's not. I know how everybody in this panel know how I feel about Ziyech, but I don't think Tuchel is allowed to say that in public. No, he's not allowed, because those players are investment. He needs to get that into his mind. He can throw them in the privacy, but he cannot throw those fresh meat to the media. He will get killed. He needs to think properly, that coach.
Boogie, I wanna open the discussion with the panel and get everyone to jump in, but I wanna address it from two angles. There's two comments here that I want you guys to think about when discussing. The first comment is from Julius, and Julius, if you're able to post a comment, you're able to jump on the stream. So let me see you in the stream. Julius is asking. He says a question to the panel. We have seen this toxic situation before. Why does this happen to Chelsea? Because we've seen it happen to Chelsea many a time. Now, keep that question in your mind, and let's look at this other comment. This comment here is from Luke Mudway. Luke Mudway says, the squad isn't fully built yet. We have another couple of windows before we are at our strongest. Now, Tuchel has been compared to Pep. He's been compared to Klopp. And they are the two teams that we really are competing with right now. Sorry guys, I've got a cold. Both of those teams have had the time to build. Both of those managers have had the time to build their squads, and that is why they're competing at that level. However, if we are unable to keep Tuchel at Chelsea Football Club for the next couple of seasons, we are not going to be able to achieve this. We are not going to be able to achieve a team with the chemistry that Liverpool have, that Man City have, purely because we are not giving the team enough time to do that, to build that cohesion, that chemistry. So I want to hear what you guys have to say in respect to both the media aspect and building the team.
Can I start?
With
what Julius said, it's not just Chelsea, Julius. Arsenal have had it as well, the same sort of thing. Man United, Newcastle, I can go on and on. It happens to every Premiership club, because this is how the English media are, so that's why it happens. It happens to every club. But at the moment it's us, and we are a popular subject for the media. We have a lot of people against us. And that's another reason. And the other question he was talking about,
building the team, giving him time to build.
Yeah, we have to. Our whole Roman sees into what Tuchel is really like, because we have to give him a few years. Like you said, Klopp and Pep have 6-7 years already. He hasn't even had a 1 year, complete 1 year now, I think. So you have to give him time and to buy the players he wants. He hasn't bought no one yet, not one, except Lukaku. But I'm not sure if Lukaku wanted Lukaku in the first place. So give him give him the money to go and get his own players. Then we can see what happens after. I don't think Chelsea will get rid of Tuchel. I don't think they're that dumb, like I said a million times before. But with football, you never know. That's the problem.
Yeah. Can I say something?
I'll let you come in, VJ. Guys, what's up with the like button? Doesn't it work? Is the like button jammed or something? Because you guys are not pressing it. It might be jammed. Do us a favor. Just click on it. See if it's working.
What's that?
The like button, yeah. Guys in the chat, do me a favor. Press that like button. See if it's working.
I've done it before. No, it was working one other.
That's sarcasm, Nick.
Huh?
Yeah, it's a bit of sarcasm there from. No.
No, sarcasm, Nick, it's sarcasm, because right now I've got like 60 people watching.
Yeah, I know what you're
25 likes, and I'm like, must be broken.
How come they're watching and they don't press that? You know, it's not a big.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't understand that. Sometimes I don't believe you or any other one.
I think it is difficult to
lads,
press it on TV.
Yeah, lads, do me a favor. See if that like button is working. Click on it. If it goes black, then that's good. Just keep it there. And then that red button that says subscribe, just change that into blue. Just press on it, change it into blue. Do you really want to have red on your screen when you can have blue? Yeah. So make that into blue, and then there's a bell. There's a bell next to it. Just click on it and go to the top of the list and click on that one, and we're good to go. We're good
Plus,
to go.
it doesn't cost 1 penny, so
nothing. Nothing. It costs nothing.
That's what I mean.
It costs nothing.
I don't understand why people don't do that. You know, it's really baffling.
I'm ill. I've got a cold, and I'm here streaming because I want to be with you guys. I want to talk to you guys. So do us a favor, hit the like button and subscribe. VJ, take it away.
I also think you might have to refresh that, because when I clicked the like, it was 33rd like that I actually pressed on, but you were still on 25. You might have to close and open again.
Hold on. Yeah, you might be right there. You might be right. All right, it's actually 38. My bad, people. Yeah, it's my button that isn't working. My button. yours is working. My bad. Take it away, VJ. Give me your thoughts on the situation regarding the transfer. The fact
Premier
that
League
the other teams,
toxicity and all that.
And the fact that the teams we're competing with have been together for a lot longer than ours.
Absolutely. So the first thing that I'd like to address with respect to Julius's comments is that, toxicity in Chelsea fan base. I think that toxicity is a term that has increased in every single fan base, not Chelsea fan base. I mean, when you go to the other bigger channels like Football Terrace, people like Goldbridge and all these people, you can see how much Manchester United fans are actually disappointed by the club. You could see the same with Arsenal, take from AFTV to any other channels. The same goes for other big clubs. Their fans are basically disappointed one thing or the other. I don't think so. Any fan base at this or any club at this particular era can keep the entire fan base happy. There is one thing or the other that keeps on popping, and there is always a toxicity, when it comes to these to football clubs. One thing that maybe is a bit of cause of concern for Chelsea Football Club is that maybe Chelsea board is a bit more open to what the public thinks about things. Right, Manchester United won't make a decision about Ole unless they actually feel he has to be changed. They took 3 years to that. Chelsea, if there is a public opinion, if there is a problem in the with respect to public picture, they're not concerned about it. They basically, okay, fine, I'm going to chop this person. I'm going to bring in a new one. I want to make the fan base all right. Right, so they kind of are a bit reactionary. The board is a bit reactionary. That's why you could see certain, all these panic buys sometimes happen, or the coaches come in and those things happen.
I just VJ, I want to just interrupt you for 1 second, and I really apologize for interrupting you, but I want to address a comment here by Fraz. Sorry, Fraz says, that's a 0?
Yeah,
Fraser.
I thought it was a number 0, like not the letter O.
I think you're right, but it's still Fraser.
All right. Yeah, so I'm reading it Fraz Fraz. All right, Fraser. Yeah. Okay, Kasim, only way we can make this board move is if Chelsea fans protest against the board. You saw Man United move when they did it. We don't need to protest. We don't have an issue with the board that requires us to protest. You see, a protest is when you're trying to block something, when you're trying to stop something. We're not actually trying to stop or block anything. We're actually trying to get them to do something. Okay, and we don't have anything against them. We want them to support the manager. Protests will not achieve that. Protests will be counterproductive. protests will have an effect of destabilizing the club, destabilizing the whole situation, and we don't want that. We don't need that. We don't need that. Man United, they have different issues. They have seriously different issues because, they don't have the club's interests at heart, while ours do, but they're lacking in certain areas. I have no doubt at all that Marina, Roman, Bruce Buck, what's his name? The guys we mentioned the other day, Petr Cech, all these guys, they support the team. They want to see the success of the club, the team. All right, so protesting is going to have counterproductive results. We don't need that. I'm going to let VJ continue, but before I let VJ continue, I just want to say hello to Julius. Julius, welcome to the stream.
Big up, everyone. Good to see you all.
Big up, Julius. Hey, I
Julius.
hope work isn't being too much of a pain. I know you're bogged down with work right now, so I'm glad to see that you're able to come on the stream.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you. Glad. All right, VJ. Continue, VJ.
Yeah, with respect to that particular comment, I was kind of astonished by the way that the comment was actually portrayed. I mean, why do we basically go and protest? Like, get us Chumeni, get us Kunde for that and all. If we start protesting, we probably have to be protesting every single day at that club. Like every 6 months, once every transfer window, we have to do that.
Listen, we'll have protests. Why didn't you play Havertz? Let's go protest. Why didn't he pick Mason Mount? Let's go protest. No, that doesn't work like that.
Yeah. I mean, Man United, they don't want their owners in the club. They protest. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
VJ, can I ask you something? Yeah, look,
yes,
the only time we're going to protest if we're going to find out they don't want Tuchel, then we can go and protest like we did when the Super League was going to be done, and we went. I was the first one there that night, and Petr Cech came out, and you can see he was going, "Don't worry, lads. You know, he was really talking good. Calm down. We sorted it out. Roman ain't going to abandon you." So, it was great to see that. It was great to be there for that occasion.
And apart from that, we also have to understand.
We're going to protest. I can't see us. We can't protest it for which players we like or don't like. Yeah. I just want to mention the Super League protest also.
Yeah, the thing is,
sorry, Vijay. We don't need to protest to support Tuchel. We can do that from the stands. We can let everyone know how we feel about him by singing his name and chanting his name in the stands and showing our support to him. One thing I can guarantee you is, had the whole Lampard situation been during or had it not been during lockdown, I think it would have been a lot harder for the club to sack him when they did, because he still had a lot of love in the stands. People were singing his name even after he was sacked. So Tuchel has that right now. We back him. We support him. I don't care what the media is saying. I don't care what journalists are printing on in their papers. We support Tuchel. We back Tuchel. We want the club to support Tuchel and back Tuchel and give him the time to build this team. Give him the time to build this chemistry, this cohesion, because we have a lot of youngsters in our team. We need someone to be able to mold them into a world-class team that they can be, and that they're on the verge of being. So let's back Tuchel. Let's support Tuchel. Let's not give fuel to these stories.
Yeah, I think what we're missing here is just. Sorry, should I wait? Go ahead, Vijay.
No, let Vijay finish his statement, and then you guys can jump in. Go ahead, Vijay.
Yeah, the only thing that I wanted to just say apart from this was on the other question that we had. Right? Basically, we wanted to cover two questions, and then one I had covered, and then there was another comment. So I just wanted to go back to the previous question where there was a comment on we need 2 more players to actually complete our squad. and all that. So I too believe the same. But right now, if you look back in hindsight, we might require 2 more players to complete the squad. But every single time, this is going to happen. Every point in time, like every 6 months, if you start evaluating, we'll need players. We'll need 1 player, 2 player, or maybe 4, 5 players. That's going to keep on happening. The thing is, we won the Champions League with this squad. We lost a couple of players, and we are not able to recover from that particular situation right now. And that's where we're struggling a bit. So if we bring in the 2 players, will it sort all the issues? I'm not really sure of. All right. But if you ask me if Thomas Tuchel is the right person to train the people who are in the squad, then I might say, you know what? If you give him the same amount of time that you gave Klopp and Pep in their respective boats, I guess we're going to do a lot with them, because this squad is a young squad.
Chelsea have never given anyone that much time. Chelsea have never given anyone that much time, especially under women. And that is a problem.
Yeah, the thing is the player around. Like, if we pick those players one by one, they're all deep in the form. So Chelsea is losing money just by Mount is not playing good. You one by one. So Tuchel need to find a way to find, if it means just to isolate Lukaku a little, just get the level that we used to have last season. Find it. We still have Havertz, or Werner and Mount, and you can put the team together again. Like, just bring the basic bars. We need that basic bar where they're performing good. Now you can bring Lukaku back into that situation. Don't try to force something that is not working. Because if you look at all the team, our young player right now, they're all deep in the form. Cho, we're now crying. Cho is not good enough. A Mount is not good enough. But a few weeks ago, they were the best, right? So Tuchel need to also find a way to get those players to start playing. If Lukaku is the problem, isolating him. You don't have to play him over and over and over.
He's not the problem, though. The problem is fatigue. We have so many matches. Like, we played this squad. We ran this squad into the ground. That's essentially what's happened.
So the fatigue is the reason why the team didn't celebrate yesterday, like Tuchel said.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Obviously, the team didn't celebrate yesterday because they're not playing well. You know, Tuchel, and what you're talking about with Ziyech, he's not in good spirits right now, for whatever reasons. But the bottom line is, this squad has been run into the ground. Let's not mince words here. They played a lot.
That's the Premier League issue. That's the Premier League issue. It's not. No, it is.
It's not though. How is it a Premier League issue? Because we have games to play.
Look how many games in hand other teams have right now. Yeah, we have been forced to play.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
One thing I don't understand, Couch, you yourself said, if the players are that tired, then why Tuchel play Lukaku and Ziyech in the game? Lukaku in the game against Manchester City and play him again against who do we play? Brighton yesterday. If like the minimum logic is the fact that if the player is tired, then you move them around, or you use the entire squad. So that reason or that excuses of player being tired is now.
But it is the reason though. Just because Tuchel hasn't really come to that conclusion.
Hold on. Short time.
Why am I getting?
You have echo.
Oh yeah, good.
Make sure you address the echo short time before I bring you in, because we're hearing ourselves talking. Guys, continue, Couch. I'll bring in Julius after you. Continue.
Yeah, there's a lot to touch on here. Like, you're saying the exact same thing that I'm saying, Boogie. Like, just because Tuchel hasn't acknowledged the fact that the squad is tired in the right way, or he hasn't dressed it right, doesn't mean that the squad's not tired. I agree with you. He shouldn't be playing these guys. He shouldn't be running these guys into the ground. He should be playing the squad that is best fit to play at the time that the game calls for. Like, I have no reason to think. I've seen nothing since that interview that leads me to suggest Lukaku should play every game 90 minutes. Nothing. I haven't seen anything up until this point other than the goal yesterday that led me to believe that Ziyech should be playing match after match. Mason Mount the same. He's played a ton of games. He's been out of form. He shouldn't be playing that much. So I agree with you, but like Tuchel, for whatever reason, does not see it that way. The fact that he's waiting until 80 minutes to make substitutions on a squad that he says is tired mentally and physically is a problem. So as much as I'm a Tuchel backer, and I think that this guy needs time, and I think that we have to basically try and form a squad within his image to see us get to that next level, I also blame him for the fact that like we're not playing the best football right now because he's run these guys into the ground unnecessarily.
Coach, who will he replace it with?
Hold on, VJ. Hold on, VJ.
Werner. Put Werner in, man.
Hold on, Couch. I said after Couch, I'm going to bring in Julius. So let's respect the.
I wasn't even done.
Hold on. No, Couch. I'm going to bring in Julius. And I'm going to get him to address your points as well as the game. Julius, firstly, welcome to the stream, and I want you to look at what has been said since the game in the press conferences, and also I want to get your perspective with respect to the game, and also the decisions that Tuchel has made in respect to the substitutions, in respect to the team selections. Because if you want to criticize Tuchel, criticize that aspect. Criticize his management of the team. Is he late in his substitutions? Is he overplaying certain players? Is he underplaying certain players? Is he making too many changes when it comes to attacking options, attacking selection? Are we seeing too many players being picked and we don't have any, what's the word here? We don't have any consistency in the selection of the players, and therefore they're not gelling, they're not integrating. So give me your perspective on these aspects, Julius, and let's hear it, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Mo.
Thank you.
Honestly, it's really hard to analyze at this point from my perspective what's going on, because I think he did late subs, right? Minute 80 or something. And the only logical thing in my head is there are two possibilities. Either the players that were on the bench, like Mount and Havertz, are being rested for future games and he's avoiding playing them at any cost, or they're not doing well in the training ground. The third possibility, which I think it's a little bit far-fetched, but it could be also a message to the club as well. But I think it's a little bit far-fetched.
I hate to even contemplate that, because that would mean that his mindset is not in the right place if he was doing that, and I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah, it's not really smart to do it, personally. Yeah. But like someone like Tuchel, honestly, he's very smart. He's to be honest, he's considered, and not by the media, by actual. I think Pep Guardiola said it himself, even in club, even he is the best tactician in world football right now, and this is the opinion of world-class serial managers. To look at it and say, from as fans in general, and question his decisions when it comes to the team selection or the tactics or the system, I find it to be a little bit naive and baseless. My only logical analysis here is that he's not playing Mount or Havertz, or even starting with Werner, for example, since we could make an argument that we look more fluid without Lukaku. I feel it's just he's avoiding to play everyone every week, so he can basically spread them into different games and rest some of them, since the congested period. Otherwise, I have no doubt that he makes the best decisions possible, whether people agree with him starting Lukaku or not, because I've started to see a lot of big YouTubers and on social media saying, why is Lukaku even playing? If you listen to what Tuchel said at the end of the press conference, he's more of the solution, not the problem.
Correct.
And I trust him. He's not lying. I do trust his decisions. Maybe he is picking the right players. So there is a multiple elements there. There is fatigue. There is the psychological aspect of also losing the game against City. That kind of lost the players a little bit of like, when you play for something that doesn't mean much anymore for you. Maybe they had actual ambition to win the league and they believed they can win the league, and that loss was just too much mentally and psychologically. That hence we were burnt out as well, and with all the injuries and the media pressure. So it's a very critical moment. I'm gonna say something that a lot of people may not like. I have zero trust in our leaders on the club level. I just hope personally that we pass this very tough period, and hopefully we can get a couple of wins and win a couple of the Club World Cup and the League Cup, maybe FA Cup, who knows? And I think that would be a fantastic season. Also, you know what? Champions League, don't write us out. We are, Couch said many times, and I really agree with him on that. We are a cup team, and we could win and we could beat on a good day any team in Europe. So let's just hope let's just hope the fan base stick with him, support him, and let's hope the players also don't. Basically, let's hope he doesn't lose that plot and the dressing room. And that season will have it. It's gonna be a frustrating season, but let's end it with a couple trophies because we can still win some, and rebuild in the summer. Sell what we need to sell and buy smart. That's the point. That's the key here. So, yeah.
All right. I'm gonna bring in Showtime and then Max Burton. Showtime, welcome to the stream. Again. Give me your assessment of the game yesterday and the media hype that has followed since.
Good afternoon or evening. Can you hear me clearly? Am I echoing?
No, you're good. You're good. You're good to go.
So
Good afternoon. Good evening. Wa alaikum salam.
Greetings to you all and the panelists as well, and ones watching. In regards to last night, I mean, I agree with what Couch was saying. I mean, a lot of his points resonate. I think fatigue is really is the key to our problems. I mean, our December period was the busiest, but as you can see, our January is our December as well. So we're just playing back to back, no breaks. As of last night's match, I understand people are upset about the draw. I can be upset as well, but for me, it's more so I'm glad we didn't lose. Now, as I watch matches, when I watch matches, I just pray we don't lose matches. You know, that's one thing I'm keen on. But the draws are not a problem for me. I feel like if Tuchel was losing matches, then he would have been on the hot seat. But the fact that he has a depleted squad and a fatigue squad, and he's still coming out with a point, not necessarily the victory, it still means more to me than a loss. In regards to his tactics yesterday, I think he said in the press conference yesterday that why his reason for not bringing on the subs earlier was because people was on yellow, and he was trying to figure out what Brighton was going to do in a tactic way before he brought on all three attackers. So, I mean, I understand his logic, but for me, I was watching the game, and in the 60th minute, I was screaming, Tuchel, make a change. Tuchel, make a change. That's how I was feeling the whole match. I was screaming at my TV, Tuchel, make the change. But I feel like he knows what's best for his squad at this point. We just got to have to trust and believe in what Tuchel is doing because he's the manager. And for the likes, this is how the start of putting the managers that we've had previously in the hot seat. We go on consecutive runs of where people aren't happy with performances, and then they start lighting the gas of, okay, Tuchel should be sacked, or Tuchel is under pressure from the board. And then that starts the trickle-down effect from the board, calling in Petr Cech and then giving him the talking, and then Petr Cech relaying that message now to Tuchel, like, hey, bro, you got to win some matches here. You're on fire. You know, that causes a problem. And And if we trust in what Tuchel has done or what he can do for the club, why not just understand that, okay, fatigue and injuries are playing a key point. And for me, it's more so how do we build on the next match? Because playing Lukaku is not the problem. In my eyes, yesterday, Lukaku wasn't the problem. You can see that our attackers do not know when to feed him the ball or when to throw the ball long.
Chemistry, short time. Chemistry was the problem rather than any specific player. They're not gelling.
Judy said yesterday, oh, he hasn't been playing Mount. Mount has been dropped one match. And yesterday he was like he didn't even play. That's how missing he was. For us to even think that he hasn't been playing. So I mean, players like Mount, we had high hopes for him, but he's slowly starting to change his form into somebody that the fan base aren't going to critique Mount how they critique Werner or they critique Lukaku, because of the love that they have for Mount. Take the love out of take the love from Mount, and you'll see that he is not living up to the expectations that we have for him. I feel like we should give the same critique that we're giving to Callum Hudson-Odoi to Mason Mount. Just because he had one good season under Frank Lampard doesn't mean that he can we can oversee all his bad that he's done, because he hasn't been living up to his expectations as well. And Azpilicueta on the right, I mean, yesterday he tried, but you'll see that him and his crosses aren't working. We can't use him to get to the other half. We can't attack. He's not the same Aspi that we know. He's more defensive now, and that's where he should stay. I think Tuchel needs to start bringing in Kennedy. I think Kennedy should be ready for Sunday, because we need Alonso to sit on the bench and relax for a little bit. You can see that his legs are going. He's not the same Alonso that we know of. He can't drop back. He playing day defense. You get beat by Lamptey. He's getting beat by Lamptey like he stole something.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? You know what's funny, Showtime? Just to interject.
Yeah.
There's a stretch in the game where I thought I seen Alonso run faster than I've ever seen him run before, and I think he was tracking back, and he almost caught the
tracking back. Yeah.
He was moving.
Oh, the one where he fouled him.
Yeah, exactly.
He
Remember when he grabbed him?
didn't he? When he fouled, I couldn't believe it.
He was moving though.
Yeah.
It looked like he was moving fast.
Yeah. I had to double take. I think I had to rewind it about 6 times.
Lamptey has nitrous oxide in his engine, man.
Yeah,
seriously, the guy can shift. The guy can shift.
He's just one player that started this thing about, okay, if Chelsea doesn't want to put me in the first team consistently, I'm going to go. You see, he had 6 months left on his contract. He didn't want to sign a new one, and he left. And now look that's what started the trickle-down effect of our academy players wanting to leave the club. That right there.
Not just there. Don't forget Solanke did it too. There's a bunch of guys that decided that they wanted to go play elsewhere. Chaloba, you know.
Yeah. But we have a lot to work. I mean, Sunday is gonna start. Sunday is gonna be a new start for us. Every week is every game, every preparation for a game is a new start for us. I just feel like we critique Lukaku too much and we draw him out, and he's the scapegoat for everything that's going on right now. Still, I feel like people aren't over the fact that he did an interview with an Italian reporter. What did you expect him to say to an Italian reporter? Like, oh, I left because I wanted to leave Italy. Like, I wanted to go back home to Chelsea.
Let's leave that interview alone.
Don't go there? What about don't go to the interview?
Exactly. Don't make an interview. Don't have an interview. You know what? That interview is getting worse and worse and worse day by day by day, because we're starting to feel the ripple effects of that interview. And it's like I hated it when I first heard about it, and now I just wish we could just go back in time and I don't know.
I mean, things would have.
It's
I don't
crazy.
think things would have changed if he has done the interview or he hasn't done the interview. I think.
Listen, short time. Did you see how he was playing before the interview? The man was
see how he was playing before COVID and before the injuries. It's the same thing. The injuries and COVID played a part to what,
of course,
caused the interview. He's not out.
No. Hold on.
Yeah, sorry.
COVID was after the interview. He got COVID after the interview. Injury was before the interview, but COVID was after. I wouldn't even be surprised if as I say, the journalists gave him COVID, but I don't know. I mean, he had a Moscon, so. COVID was after the interview. Let me bring in Max Burton. Then we'll open the discussion to the whole panel. Max Burton, welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing good, my brother.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's well.
Good evening, Max. Good evening, Max. Max, I want you to first address the press conference, what he said post match. Also, the media hype that followed us since that result, and also address the performance on the day, the substitutions, the tactics. What's your take in respect to the wider or the bigger picture in respect to this particular fixture?
Well, yesterday, we did, the interview said they were tired. They did look tired yesterday. They were second to every single ball yesterday, but for me, that's why I remember when I did the team thing, I said Jorginho shouldn't be playing in this game, because they did the same thing to Jorginho where they did to Locker. Even without Bissouma, I thought, okay, he may have a chance, but they were still smothering him. And not only Jorginho, I'm not singling out Jorginho, by the way, because it was a collective poor performance from everybody. But they weren't, they were sharper to the ball. There was more urgency in the middle of the park. It doesn't help when Kante looked very tired. Yeah, that's the worst I've seen Kante. Is someone took out the Duracell battery out of his back, I think. So, or either that, or the battery's going a little bit dead because the guy wasn't running around like he normally does, and he was giving the ball away a lot. He was playing some terrible passes, and we got lucky a couple of times. That one where Lamptey nearly intercepted, and there was other cases like that, and. The Ziyech, when he scored, I didn't like that. When he scored, I didn't like that the fact that he didn't celebrate, because to me, what that does, even if it doesn't mean anything in it, we know what everything now, because Chelsea are going through a bad spell. We are under the microscope, and every little thing is going to be picked up on. Because I was watching it on BT Sport. I'm not sure what everyone else was watching it on, and they picked up on that. And one of the Joe Cole was on there, and he said, even if he doesn't feel like celebrating, you celebrate. What it does, it gives the players that lift and gives the crowd that lift to, that little celebration for the next 10 minutes. Your team are up, but the fact, is demeaning.
Max, do you think it's fatigue, or do you think there's more to it, i.e., dressing room unrest and things of that nature? Where do you stand in respect to why he did that?
I don't. Only he knows. I don't want to second guess why he did that. Maybe because maybe it's a case of he sees social media and he sees people on his back. It could be like a message to the fans as well. See, I can do it. I've got it or something. You don't know. You just don't know. So I don't want to speculate. That's the thing with us. We speculate about a lot of things.
There was one. I can't remember who said it, but one person addressed it in this particular way, which doesn't make sense, because I can see Ziyech thinking like that. He said, and I can't remember where I heard this, but he said Ziyech probably didn't celebrate because we're not there yet. We haven't we haven't done enough. And when I say we, I mean he, as in this goal is not where I want to be. I want to be scoring more. I want to be contributing more. And because he's not happy about himself, he didn't celebrate, because he wants to see himself do more before he will show that he is happy. So maybe he has that kind of mindset where he's unhappy with his own performance or his own level, and he wants to do more before he is prepared to celebrate. So that is one way of looking at it. It could be, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, but celebrations also send a message to us. It sends a message to us fans as well, that there's unity within the side. It's not only him, because remember in the cup game when Hudson-Odoi scored that goal, it was just like nothing. I don't care if it's a cup game against a non-league side or a league game. Show that unity, show that togetherness, and it gets the fans, because we're in it together, fans, players, and everything else. So we want to see that happiness, that bonding within the squad itself. As far as the fatigue thing goes, what it says to me as well is that Thomas Tuchel doesn't trust the players that he's got in his squad. You know, Bobby would be happy that I'm actually agreeing with him today. He's not on a panel today when he mentions about squad size. Okay, for me, obviously we can only have 25, but it's the squad quality for me, not squad size. Squad quality. The fact that we've got people like Ross Barkley earning a living on the bench and he doesn't trust him. If we got fatigue, these are the times when you utilize your squad. You know, and I was watching, as I think Sky Sports News today, and a lot of the consensus amongst the former pros is, you know, we don't feel sorry for Chelsea because they've got a big enough squad. They should be able to cope with it. Some teams don't have as big a squad as Chelsea, and they've got quality on their bench. So this is what this is what the squad is meant to be there for. You know, it's sort of around the Christmas period. That's when you are meant to utilise the squad. And if you haven't got anybody in there to take over, then yeah, because obviously Loftus-Cheek, I think since his injury, he's gone down a bit. I think Couch is putting his hand up.
I just quickly want to come in now on the back of that, just because I think this is where the mentality needs to change at this club. It's not within the manager or like the scouting or whatever. I think that the real change needs to happen at the board level, where we're not sacking managers every 18 months anymore. If we want to see a squad built in the image of the manager, then you have to keep him at the club long enough for him to bring in the players. We're not going to be able to bring in those players in 6 months and I see a revolution at the club. You have to slowly integrate these pieces, and that's what's not happening. It's never happened. Every time we get a squad, it's like a mixed match of players from Sarri, a mixed match of players from Conte, a mixed match of players from Jose, and then this manager has to come in, the new manager has to come in and assimilate all those pieces to play his style of football. And then you bring in 2 more pieces that fit his style of football and expect it to all gel together. And it's not going to work like that. You have to give managers more time.
Dennis, you were in my living room this afternoon, I swear, or you've got some hidden camera somewhere, because I've just done a video on that. I haven't posted it yet. I'll probably post it tomorrow. And all those points that you've made, I've done a video on that to be released tomorrow. So I'm sure you've got a video. I have to check all the hidden cameras.
Guys, you don't have to watch Max's video. You've already seen the spoiler. So
exactly.
Max, have you bought a new mic or something? Because your audio is crisp today. Is that a new mic?
Oh really? No, it's the same one. I'm not sure why.
He watched it.
Crisp.
He watched it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So what I was saying is, he obviously doesn't trust these players he's got, and as Dennis said, he's right, because you know what, he asked for a right wing back. At the time, we were saying, why does he want a right wing back? But now we know why he wants a right wing back, because he asked for a key mid in the game. He asked for. I know a lot of people may not have wanted it, but he specifically asked for Adama Traore as well, and so we didn't get him. And because of the club's dithering, it probably stopped us from keeping Livramento at the club, because we were sort of messing about trying to get this Hakimi. Livramento seen what's happened and said, you know what, I'm out of it. And we've left with Azpilicueta, who, as Dennis was saying, he's back from the Mourinho days. Azpilicueta, obviously he's a great servant, but he's been there since the Mourinho days. We've got Marcus Alonso, who's like a Conte player. He can play the wing back role, but obviously we know the quality of him. We need to just be ruthless in getting rid of these players. If you look at Pep Guardiola, when he came in, there's only about 3 players now who are worth before Pep. He's had a clean sweep. The team plays in his image. Okay, Joe Hart, who was the England #1. He shocked everyone. That shocked everyone when he said, "You know what? I don't want him because he can't play out from the back." And he went. He was ruthless. He made tough decisions. So we need to make tough decisions. And the last point I want to make before we open this up is the only time we got back-to-back titles. What happened that year? We strengthened. We went out and bought Michael Essien and someone. Every single time after we've won big trophies, we've rested on our laurels thinking, you know what, this side is good enough to go again. And we haven't. So Julius was right again. I'm sort of giving credit to all these people I usually have arguments with, but Julius was right in that the squad wasn't strengthened enough in the transfer window, And now that's what we're feeling. That's the issue. We're feeling it now because there's not enough depth in quality to come in. Okay, we've been unfortunate with injuries. I put my hand out. We've had a lot of injuries. We've had a lot of sickness. But that's what a squad is for. A squad is for when you're injured, you have the players in there who can fill in, and not the quality is not going to drop drastically. And the last point I want to make is the mentality side of it as well, because we've seen this in this story has played out for about 5 seasons under four different managers. In December, when things start to go wrong, these players just heads drop. They don't dig in, and they don't show that mentality. Yesterday, all I want to see is a bit of the title's gone, but let's have a bit of fight. All we want to do is see a bit of fight, see these guys, playing for the badge. Because if we're not careful, we're going to be looking closer to the. If you look at the games, Tottenham got 5 games in hand. They win those 5. I don't think they will, but if they do, they're above us in the table. If Arsenal win their 3 games in hand, they're equal with us in the table. Massive game against Tottenham on Sunday, because we need to win that one. If we don't win that one, then guys, I don't want to be pessimistic, but we're going to be in trouble for top 4 if we lose that one.
Top 4 is it has you see, the thing is this, the way I see this season panning out is top 4 is the top, but success will not be achieved unless we win some of these trophies. If we win the next 2 trophies that we're in the battle for, which is the World Club Cup and the League Cup, and get to semi-final, maybe quarter-final will be sufficient in the Champions League, and finish top 4, I would be satisfied with this season. I would be satisfied because I will take into account what we've gone through. But at the same time, I would be expecting a lot to happen in the summer. And when I say a lot to happen, I don't mean we're going to be spending hundreds and hundreds of millions on a couple of players. No, getting the right players is more important for me than getting more key players. And because sometimes more key players, they cost you an arm and a leg, and when they don't perform, you're in trouble. So I'd rather see us going for 30, 40, 50 million players rather than going for the 70, 80, 90, 100 million players who could end up being, lacking in public relations skills and causing more issues. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, in hindsight, sorry, Boogie, can I just? In hindsight, what we could have done, because like Vlahovic, he was available. We could have probably got him for about 56 million, 60 million, and remember we were scratching because we spent 100 million on Lukaku, then we couldn't get in Koundé because of the money situation. But if we had bought in someone like a Vlahovic for 60, then that would have given us enough money to raise the extra 10 or 15 million that Sevilla were asking for Koundé. So it's just smart purchases like that, really.
I'm not going to comment on the players. Sorry, Boogie, I'll let you come in. I'm not going to comment on the players that I think we should buy in the summer, not just yet, because I think it's too early.
No, not summer. What we should.
Last summer. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Yeah.
And Koundé.
I would have been happy to keep Giroud and Tammy and Zuma than to go for Vlahovic and Koundé or even Lukaku at this point. But again, that's in hindsight. I mean, if you had asked me back then, I'd have probably answered you differently. But in hindsight, I'm not very happy with what we've done. Let me hear from Boogie. Go on, Boogie.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the way of thinking. I don't want to get myself involved too much in the transfer. I'm just a coach. I'll coach a team. I'll give my advice. So I think Tuchel was in that mindset. My problem is if you think you need a wing back, that is your priority. and then we end up at the end of the transfer windows by spending 100 million and 350 a week on Lukaku. I think before they went for that decision, Tuchel can just say, no, if I don't get a win back, I don't need a striker right now. Like, I can still use Giroud and use Havertz at false nine. So the fact that Chelsea is allowed to buy Lukaku, then it come also the need of result. That's the thing. I think Tuchel also hand Chelsea the weapon to fire him at the end of this season.
You're also missing the process of events too.
I mean, Lukaku was signed at the last day of
exactly.
Yeah.
So what happened before that? Giroud was gone. Giroud, let me finish. Giroud, they didn't renew his contract, right, or whatever. At that point,
I think they
renewed it to sell him.
They renewed and sold.
He had 1 year.
Giroud was sold.
Let me just finish this. So they renewed him to sell him. Tammy was clearly not in Thomas Tuchel's plans, and they're looking to sell him as well, right? So now you have just Werner as a striker, maybe Havertz if you consider him that. I don't necessarily. So the notion was we're not leaving this summer until we get a striker. We're not coming out of the summer without buying a striker. So it's not so much that they backed themselves into a corner, or Tuchel backed them into a corner by saying I need a wing back. It was the fact that they had not secured a striker until the last day. If that makes any sense at all.
No, for me.
One second. I want to emphasize a point. We put ourselves in that position because we spent too long messing around with Haaland. We did not take the stance that we needed to take with Haaland, i.e. pay the money, get a player and move on. Instead, we were negotiating a bid after bid after bid, contract after contract, fee after fee, and then at the end of the day, we turned around and said, you know what, we're not going to go ahead with this. Leave these guys. Let's find an alternative. And
you want to pay 130 million for a play that you don't know is going to be promising.
Hold on. Showtime. Negotiating is good if you have yourself a strategy to negotiate and to obtain. You have to. I mean, from the beginning, if the debate or the conversation was, you got to be paying this chunk of money, and this chunk of money is a lot more than what you're prepared to pay, you turn around and just go and find an alternative. To continue negotiating with a stubborn negotiator who has the upper hand, because I will get whatever I want next window, and you spent enough time with this agent to know that you were not going to get anywhere with him. You turn around and you go find the alternative. You don't put yourself in that situation where you have 2 weeks before before the transfer window finishes and you haven't done nothing.
But the alternative.
Hold on. You want to keep on trying. Have your backup plan ready, and don't have your backup plan where you're going to have to pay 100 million. Have a plan B that is going to be enable you to be in a stronger position next window, the window after that, and next summer to make the acquisition you want. Because right now we are stuck. We have spent 100 million on Lukaku, who has proven to be a more of a PR mess than Erling Haaland was ever going to be. All right, and what's the alternatives? We're actually talking. I'm reading reports that that we could be selling Lukaku in the summer for 20 million less than what we bought him for. If we're lucky, we might get 80 million for him. If we're lucky, why do we put ourselves in that position? Why? This is the problem.
Can I finish?
We already got a year out of him, right? If you sell him at 80 million.
A year full of trouble. I would have rather have kept.
Trouble. That's not one thing. It's not trouble.
You basically recoup that year because he's played that year for you. So if he's a $20 million a year player, then you've already gotten $20 million worth, regardless of how you look at it. If you get 80 million for him, you take that and run.
We are going to take that. We are going to take it. I'm sure we are going to take it. Go on, Boogie.
Yeah, thank you. I wasn't even talking about Lukaku. Lukaku wasn't supposed to be the subject. I'm just saying Tuchel is the subject here. My point is this: if you go into a new team, you just won the Champions League with a specific team. Who is getting? I'm getting the echo all the time. Who's that?
Nick. He keeps on switching on his mic and taking it off. Nick, relax your mic, man. Let the man talk.
Relax your mic. Anyways, so and you know, after checking your team, you decided you need a wing back or you need whatever player, the midfielder. And at the end, they're offering you 100 million pound striker that you don't even that was not even a priority. Can't you just say no? We don't. I don't need Lukaku to be in Chelsea next season. I'd rather just take this team and promote the youngsters because it's not your priority.
Dennis said it was a priority, and he explained the reasons why he was a priority.
No, but Lukaku was. I was listening, Max. If you don't mind, I was listening. The truth is, Lukaku, Haaland was the priority. And at last minute, they decided to switch and buy Lukaku. I don't even think that should be the case because Tuchel didn't want Lukaku. He wanted a wing-back as a priority. So why can't he decide, okay, we only want a wing-back and not invest 100 million into a striker, which will be a pressure on him to have a result? That's my question.
He did want a striker. Tuchel did want a striker.
And it was on the list of players he wanted.
Yeah, he wanted a guy who can go score goals. That's factual. That's a fact.
No, the problem is all the fan base, everyone, was dying. After we couldn't get Haaland, everyone was shouting, we want a top striker. That's why they got Lukaku to, so they can forget Haaland.
The board and
everyone wanted to get a big name, especially the fan base wanted a big name striker.
We're gonna get a striker, bro. Like that was the
exactly. Couch is right. I mean, we prioritized striker first, and then wing back was an option because we already had Reece James there. We needed a cover, and we probably went for Hakimi, which did not transpire into anything materialistic. So we thought, okay, fine, we will concentrate our entire effort on the striker, and we did that. And I think that probably was the right move. That
and
time.
Everyone was happy.
Hold on. I'm gonna bring in Eric Blue. But before I bring in Eric Blue, I just want to say one thing. We seem to have an issue whenever we criticize transfers. Don't have an issue. Criticize transfers. Especially when they are causing, and I'm using this word a lot these days, I don't know why, ripples. They're causing ripples. I'll give you an example. We made some massive errors in the last window. Massive errors. We sold Zuma because we wanted to bring in Koundé. Okay, we sold him, and we hadn't even secured the deal for Koundé. So that was a massive error. We chased the hell out of Hakimi, all right, which had a result of Livramento leaving the club, and we didn't get Hakimi, and we lost Livramento. We spent the entire window chasing Haaland, and we didn't get Haaland, and we ended up getting Lukaku. Do you guys see? This is a sequence of events that has been detrimental to our success this season. Because Chalobah had to step up because we lost Zuma. Livramento could have been a fantastic backup to Reece James, or because Livramento, I believe he can play on both sides, left and right. He would have been a fantastic addition to the squad. But he left. Rightly so, because if he thinks Hakimi is coming in, and the way that we were pushing for Hakimi, and Hakimi was a club target, and we didn't make an effort to try to put Livramento's mind at ease that no, you have a future here. Tariq Lamptey and Reece James, there is room for two good right wing backs at Chelsea. There's room for that, but we focused on Reece James, neglected Tariq Lamptey. And we could all see what Tariq Lamptey is all about. You can turn around and say, oh, but he wanted to go, or he wanted this, he wanted that. Yeah, sure. But the club can influence, can change mindsets, decisions. they can spend money in a particular way. Couch, I want to go to Eric. I'll let you come in after because Eric
on that though, because I think that's a little bit of a misconception. We're assuming that the club haven't done enough to try and keep these players when these players have their own aspirations for football as well.
If
Livramento has the opportunity to go play first team football, regular football every week, and he's getting paid a certain amount of money, why would he not want to take that opportunity?
Yeah, but it has to be
play
more
the
than
backup
2
to
years.
Reece James or
It has to be.
But listen, listen, Couch. Hold on. He's a backup. He's a backup to his colleague. He's not backup to someone who is established. He is going to be the backup to Reece James. Therefore, he is going to have the opportunity to be the number one.
That's look. If you look at the trajectory, even when you look at
if you don't,
the same way, look where Reece James is
Couch,
in his career right now.
We have to encourage competition within our team.
That's not happening though. You're assuming that is not happening because they decided to move.
Why are we assuming? We're not assuming that's not happening.
That they left because we didn't try and encourage the competition.
No, I said he left because the way we chased the Hakimi situation.
Okay,
the way we chased the Hakimi. Lamptey because we brought in Reece James. We brought in Reece James and we neglected Lamptey.
If we go back to Lamptey, no, he wasn't neglected because when Frank Lampard gave him minutes. Remember, he came on against Arsenal and he ran the show against them. Then he got an injury. But he's only 6 months in. Because if he could have stayed, if anyone could have encouraged him to stay, it would have been Lampard because Lampard was playing all the youth at the time. Okay, he felt that he didn't have enough fight in him to come up against Reece James, who was established in that position. So
who felt?
Lamptey, because
who felt Max himself? Okay,
Lamptey did, yeah. So for me, that says a little bit more about his mindset. Because if you look at, I always mention Mason Mount as a case study. Lots of people, even his dad, told him to get away from Chelsea because no one's made it since John Terry. He said no, he's going to stay, he's going to fight for his place and prove that he's worth a place in the Chelsea setup. And that's why he's got that elite mentality. These other players, they could have stayed, they could have fought, because they're seeing a pathway now. When Mason Mount was there wasn't a pathway because there was nobody who's breaking through. Last season, we had at least 4 players under Lampard who were breaking through, 4 or 5 players, and you're seeing minutes get. Always there. Tottenham's just gone down behind, by the way. Yeah, everyone's got minutes. Yeah, we've got minutes. All the younger players were getting minutes, and you saw that. So that should have encouraged at least one of them to stay because youngsters were getting minutes. So I think the club did try to get them to stay, but because they didn't want to renew their contract, they left. So yeah, that's my take on it.
And Mark, what do you expect
hold
from
on.
the club?
Can we hold on? Short time. Can we give Eric Blue at least the respect of saying hello to him? Hello, Eric.
Yeah, congratulations, but he's happy 2-0 Nigeria.
Yeah,
well done, mate.
I'm doing very good right now. I would say sorry for being late, but I had to be late.
I know you had double engagement.
Yeah, I had to.
Big up, Eric.
Focus on yeah.
Eric, you've heard the current discussion. I want to go back a little bit and I want to get your insight onto the game, and then you can continue the discussion as we're having it right now. So let me hear your thoughts.
I don't think Tuchel. I'll just start off with what Tuchel said. I don't think he was wrong about the players being tired, mentally tired and physically tired. I think he's right, but I don't think that has anything to do with the celebration. So the fact that they didn't celebrate, that cannot be because of them being tired. So for me, I think the bigger issue is the fact that even though it's a good thing that they're not happy, because I don't expect anybody to be happy when we're playing so poorly and we're dropping points here and there. But the fact that there's unrest in the dressing room is for me, it's a bigger issue than the fatigue in the team. So they need to resolve it. They need to come together and figure out, the solution. But it's a good thing that they're talking with each other and trying to sort it out. But other than that, yeah, it was just a very weird performance. I don't know what to say about. I have no idea what they were trying to do on the pitch. Yeah, it was very disjointed. Brighton are not a bad team, so if you don't turn up, if you don't play well, you will probably not get the result you want. And they managed to score against us twice, and we were very good this season with set pieces. We barely conceded goals from set pieces, but for some reason Brighton had 2 chances against us and they scored. So I feel as if it's more of a mentality thing. The players, something is just not right with the team. So that seems to be why we are just dropping points so often, and we've barely won games recently. So I think that's the main reason why it seems like things aren't going the way we want them to go. I don't know if you want me to speak on anything else specific, but that's my general thoughts on.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers, Eric. Thank you. I wanna go to Showtime. Showtime, you have a different perception in regards to the players that were mentioned as transfers. I want to hear from you how you propose we move forward in respect to the way we handle transfers. Firstly, do you think there is any issues in respect to the way we're doing transfers? And if there is, how do we address it? If not, then I'm assuming you want us to continue this methodology. So let me hear what your thoughts are.
I mean, in regards to transfers, I feel like the way we approach, when it comes to transfers, when you speak on Haaland and you speak on Lukaku and you speak on Zuma and you speak on all these academy players, it's the likes of like Zuma, for example. His contract was running down. I'm sure that the club needs. Yeah, he only signed a 6-year contract with us in 2014, and his 6-year contract was coming to an end. So for us, we have to make some money back if he's not going to want to re-sign with us. We already tried to propose a contract, so why not get our money worth and sell him to whoever wants him? I feel like that's the way we like Lamptey as well. 6 months left on his contract. He doesn't want to resign. Let him go. What do you expect us to do? We need to recoup some money. Nothing is free. We're not going to be keeping players that don't want to play for us and then leave on the free. It doesn't make no sense. So when it comes to the way we approach and bringing in players in, I think we need to improve on that. I think we need to negotiate in a faster pace and not wait to the last dime minute to bring in our players. I think in the Haaland situation, the money was too much. The manager wanted too much. It's not even the player. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the player was fine with what we were proposing to him. It's just that the manager wanted his own fee, which is a bit too much, and Chelsea wasn't doing that. I just think we just have to take our time when it comes to scoping out what we want and attack it as soon as possible and give Tuchel what he wants. If he wants a left wing back, get him a left wing back. If he wants a right back, get him a right back. Because he has players that he doesn't want. All the players that you see now, only one player is his, and that's Lukaku under his regime. So, he has to get what he wants. I think he needs what he wants. And that's the only way we're going to succeed is we keeping a manager for years and not just getting rid of him. That's going to help us in the transfer market, because bringing in players from different managers and then trying to gel them all at once is not making anybody happy.
Yeah, let me just add something to it. The misinformation. Look, Zuma did not refuse to renew his contract with Chelsea because of game time. Zuma was legal because we want to get Koundé. That is the real information. Anything else is just
Zuma's contract was coming to an end.
I don't want to go
in favor of
forward
Zuma.
And forward with you, man. That's what it is.
I'm just telling you what I know. Zuma wasn't in favor with Tuchel, and he wasn't going to renew his contract. So why would he stay? And why would we not sell him and get our money for what it's worth?
That's right. That's right. Zuma didn't fit the style that Conte, that Tuchel wanted.
It was
and a lot
Tuchel's
of us.
decision. You know, end of the day, it was Tuchel saw Chalobah getting better, so he decided to let him go.
Zuma's
a
gone
bad
now.
decision, really.
Yeah, the problem is it's not so much that Zuma was let go; it's the fact that we didn't really secure the replacement. You know, what I mean, that's the problem we have here.
We were played by Sevilla. Sevilla wasn't playing.
I don't want to hear that though. I don't want to hear that though. Like,
question. Had we known that Kunde's deal was not going to go through, do you think Chelsea would have still sold Zuma?
In the summer, yes.
Now is they no?
I don't think so.
No.
But is Zuma even the issue? Are we? We're talking about Zuma. Is he really the issue? Because this year, has he been really missed with Chalobah's emergence?
I think so.
He's
I think he has.
missed that much.
I
Apart
think
from
he has.
offering us a few goals.
But Max, do you honestly believe that you at the beginning of your year,
I don't think so.
did you believe that Chalobah was going to be able to step in and give him the minutes that we've?
Thank you, Coach.
With Zuma gone,
Because I didn't think he was going to be at the club.
Yeah, I didn't, but he has though.
Yeah, I mean, but that doesn't that
The fact is, I
the
didn't, but
planning
he
though?
has.
The idea was we're going to sell Zuma and bring in Koundé. There was no idea.
Yeah.
There was no opinion or no direction given around Chalobah. By all intents and purposes, he was going to be on loan.
It just happened, right? Yeah.
It's just
You know what?
it's
Yeah,
just
I
that
agree
the
with that.
planning
I
is
agree with
still not there.
Because if you look at the Saul one, I wish it didn't work out, but it did. They didn't release Saul until they secured
Max.
Griezmann, didn't they? So
Max. Yeah. It was a chain of signings. Max, let me ask you this. The amount of game time that Malang Sarr has had, okay, with that of being the same game time that Zuma would have had, or more, had he stayed.
But
I believe Zuma would have. Yeah, go on.
Zuma would probably have played now because obviously we've had to move Rudiger to the right. I wouldn't want to play Zuma on the left. He's horrible on the left. When he played on the left, because his control is not great. On the right, he's fine. But he would have probably played games now with Reece James's injury then, and with Aspi having to move across. Obviously with Reece James and what's the guy's name? Reece James and Christensen both injured.
Chalobah.
So yeah, he would have got minutes. He would probably got minutes.
Yeah, and
Zuma.
Because currently Chalobah is also injured and Christensen, and so yeah, for those reasons, I'm also emphasizing this point. We cannot underestimate the ability of Zuma as a defender, the experience he has as a defender for Chelsea. Yes, he doesn't suit the Tuchel system because Tuchel lacks defenders who can play the ball out from the back, and Zuma is more of a old school type of defender. That being said, he would have been able to integrate him into certain systems, into certain tactics, into certain formations. I think he would have given Tuchel a more a stronger back line than he has today. Selling Zuma was never going to happen if we didn't think Koundé was coming in, because we have put ourselves a defender short. Remember, we are playing a 5 at the back system, so you need to have 3 defenders fit with players that you can rotate within that system. So Zuma was always going to have a place in that team. Again, I don't want to focus on players. I'm talking about the strategy as a whole.
Can I just say something about Zuma?
One second. There was a question here by Gabriel. Sorry, Nick, can you just put yourself on mute? There was a question by Gabriel, and he said, was the transfer ban a blessing, or did it cause us more problems? Because of the transfer ban, we've had to rely on youngsters to overcome a season. Those youngsters broke through, and a lot of them have shown a lot of promise. but we've relied on them heavily and not given them the time to develop properly. I'll give you an example. Mason Mount, Reece James, those two players are fantastic players for Chelsea. However, they are now being used as the heart and soul in their positions. Therefore, is it too early for players to be given such accountability and such responsibility in their career? Is it too early for us to be putting that on them? Are they able to cope? Or should we have given them more time to develop their physicality, the speed, the technique, rather than throwing them in the deep end and asking them to perform week in, week out? Because right now, I think the burnout that you're seeing on Mason Mount is a result of that. So that is one aspect, and the second aspect is because of the transfer ban and having such a large amount of money to spend in that window that we brought 9 players in. Did we spend in a manner which is unwise? Did we overspend? Did we buy players out of necessity or out of desire? So I just want to put that out there. It's a good question by Gabriel. So let me hear your thoughts on this, lads.
Yeah.
Can I say something here?
Yeah.
Let me bring in VJ. I haven't heard from VJ. VJ, go ahead.
Yeah, VJ hasn't spoken for a while, so yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, just one quick thing, right? I mean, of course, I agree with Gabriel in the way that he said, it's a blessing in disguise. Of course, we wouldn't have realized the importance of youth players in our system unless the transfer ban had happened. So I think that's a good thing. But but your statement after that, when you said, we haven't given them enough time, or you're speculating if we have actually given them enough time or not.
I'm asking a question.
Yeah,
do you think we haven't?
Yeah. You're speculating, right? I get that. So
I'm asking a question.
I think it's not about we not giving them enough time. It's about we giving us enough giving them enough opportunity. And right, with respect to Chelsea Football Club, the expectation has always been higher, and that is where a mixture of proper youth and experience is something that is required. So, like, you play Mount, you play Cho, you play the front three in itself is completely inexperienced. You have Havertz. Like, what is the combined age factor of these three boys? Like, they're boys. They're still boys. They're not, even men to compete with the opposition. Like, when Arsenal play, they have Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe. Of course, they both are young, but then they also have Lacazette or Aubameyang or people like Saka backing them, because those are experience that you need alongside these people to succeed. You might see, and you might feel that, okay, fine, Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe don't even need these guys, but to an extent they are actually important for the way that they're playing right now. Maybe a lot of people might think you shouldn't have actually brought in Arsenal into this conversation. I get the caliber of the team right now, but then I just wanted to point out
exactly what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah. I just wanted to point out the youngsters. Right now, I was able to only think of Arsenal from the top of my mind. That is why I brought in Arsenal. But then when you go there, like when you go to any top level team, it will be a mixture of youth and
you just called Arsenal a top level team. Lacking. You just called Arsenal a top-level team on my stream.
And I know I'm going to get something
you're pushing your luck, mate. You're pushing your luck, mate.
I know. Let's go for City, right? We've got Foden. We've got people like other youngsters, and I don't even know who they play with. Like City, Foden was one. Ferran Torres was the other one. They sold them. Anyways, so they have that mixture of youth and young, experienced players. I think that is very important in the way that we play. I'm not saying that we don't have experience in our team. I think in the attack we still lack experience. We have midfield experience and all that. I'm good with that. But in the attack,
you mentioned. Hold on, Vijay. You mentioned Foden. Is Foden given the accountability for success of the Man City midfield, or is he a contributor to the success of Manchester United midfield?
For City's midfield, he's a contributor. He's not given the onus, actually.
Exactly.
Because there is someone to take up the responsibility to take experience.
You have experienced players like De Bruyne, like Gundogan, like they have a lot of players, a lot of experience in in their team. Whereas in Chelsea, rightly or wrongly, we are putting the onus on players like Reece James and Mason Mount in their positions. They are accountable for the success of that position. The fact that Reece James is not available right now, we are suffering. The team is suffering. We have problems. Mason Mount, he is not been performing at the level that we expect of him. It's impacting us because we are, we have reached a point where we rely on these players to perform, to give us that output, and when they don't, the alternatives that we have, I'm not so sure how better they are.
It's
Go ahead.
also the issue of game time.
Let me hear from Eric. I want to give everyone time. I'll hear from Eric and then I'll go back to you, Boogie.
Boogie, I'm before you.
Max, let's give time. I'll come back to you, Max. I'll go to Eric, Boogie, and then I'll go to Max.
I think Vijay mentioned.
Go on, Eric.
Vijay was right because mentioning Phil Foden is a good point because Foden is, he's an important member of the team, but he's not relied on week in, week out to win Man City games, right? So Foden is a squad player. He comes in, he comes out, he's not. It's not a situation where he has the pressure of the world on his shoulders.
Exactly.
If I don't perform today, my team won't win, So it's a very different scenario with Chelsea. And even if you want to look at people like Reece James, because you can compare him with Trent and say, how come Trent managed to do it, right? Trent is the starting right back for Liverpool, and he came in when he was quite young. So how come he's doing it? But the thing is, even with Trent, he's not being relied on to win games. There was a point in our season where we literally relied on Reece James to help us win games. If Reece James didn't do something, we're struggling. So even in that position, even if you're a starter, you shouldn't be required to be the difference maker. None of our youth players, none of our academy players should be relied on to be the difference maker. If they do, it's fantastic, we move on with that. That's a bonus. But it shouldn't be a situation where if this player from the academy doesn't do something, we won't win the game. We won't get 3 points. I don't think that is a good way. And it goes back to what we're saying about, I think what Dennis was saying about the planning. The planning isn't good enough. So it's just another obvious example of poor planning from the club.
Yep. Go on, Boogie.
My issue with that topic is the academy players, are they willing to accept the fact that if you don't have enough game time, you will accept to sign a contract with Chelsea? Because the only reason they all keep giving is when the game time is the reason why they don't want to sign a contract with Chelsea. So that forced Chelsea to only bring through the best of them, like Mount and James. And when you bring the best through the rank, you want them to perform. If for some reason we don't play Mount the way we play, Mount may complain that the other academic means that, okay, Mount is not getting enough game time. That's why we're not going to sign. So it's just difficult for Chelsea to figure out at this time. Do we bring a youth in it, but at the same time have a mature, good quality playing there and just bringing Mount in for a few games? Till when because Chelsea have a really good academy and they all want to play. And so for me, it's just more a difficult topic to just say we rely too much on Mount. We have no choice by relying on them, because if we don't show the other one at the behind that Mount is one of the main guy of the starting 11, they may refuse to sign the contract. So I just think that's the way it goes, and we've put ourselves in this situation, and we have no way to get out of it. If the other one find that Mount is succeeding, then they may sign their contract, like Broja and all those people. So I just think it's more complex than just say. Bobby is the one always crying here that concept of a game time. What is that? Foden does not complain. This guy does not complain. Why is only Chelsea that we all mentioned the concept of game time, player not getting game time? There's a reason why they have to go on loan. So I think that needs to be reviewed. And if we allow Chelsea actually to buy good mature player, and at the same time have those academy playing a few games. And if they accept it, then we move from there. That's all I can add to that. Man.
All right, let's hear from Max.
What the hell happened to those Spurs game?
Yeah.
Ugh. Wow.
I was just watching. Well, Tottenham were 2-1 down. They just won the game 3-2. 2 goals in the last minute. The reason I'm mentioning that, Bergwijn, of all people, just came out and stepped up when needed to score 2 goals. Could we see that happening? One of our wingers, Timo Werner? Probably not. Anyway, so let's go back to this topic that we're talking about. Boogeyman, sorry, I disagree with what you're saying there. We need to protect our young players, okay? If these youngsters don't know that they have to, they have to, their game time has to be managed to prolong their career, then they're watching a different sport, because all we have to do, if you're a manager, you refer them to Ryan Giggs. Ryan Giggs at Manchester United, okay? He was used properly in the early point of his career. The guy went on to play till he was 37, 38. You look at Michael Owen at Liverpool. I'm not sure if you know, you're watching football back then with Michael Owen. He was at Liverpool as a 16-year-old, and he played game after game after game. I think by the time he was 25, 26, he was washed up. Okay, we're in danger of doing that with Mason Mount. Mason,
sorry, Max. And Michael Owen, he had a good striker with him, Fowler. For a good chunk of that, but still he was being overplayed and overworked. So I mean,
Fowler was young as well. Fowler
it's tough. It's tough. Fowler was young.
Yeah, even Fowler was overplayed, and he only played
same scenario.
Yeah, when he was about 27, 28, he burnt out. So what we need to do, and the thing is, there's more games played now than back then, because there's all these stupid internationals, which Mason Mount has been involved in all these international. I don't know why they play. Gareth Southgate plays him in some of these meaningless friendlies and things like that. So he hasn't had a rest. So now we're seeing the results of him playing game in, game out, week in, week out. And as you rightly said, Mo, he's not just there as a sort of as a supporting act. He's somebody who is our go-to guy in midfield. The pressure's on there. So it's not only the physical fatigue, it's the mental fatigue as well, for carrying that responsibility. Same as with Reece James. Reece James is a guy who's had ankle problems in the past as well, because maybe he got that bad knock when he was playing on England under 21 duty, I believe. And so this guy, he's had to play when he's not even fully fit, and that's why he's picked up this injury, which is that he's put him out for a month, because he's our only right wing back of any note who can do anything. So,
Max, Mason. Sorry. Can I ask you a question? Will Mason Mount being playing the same amount of game that Loftus-Cheek playing today? Would Mason Mount in that position be happy to stay at Chelsea?
He wouldn't be playing those games. So he wouldn't be playing as
but he is young, right? He's 21.
Yeah,
or he's 22.
But if I go back to the Ryan Giggs scenario, what Alex Ferguson used to do, he would probably, out of a 38-game season, when he was young, when he was the same sort of age as Mason Mount, or a bit younger, he would play 24 out of the 38 games. And he'll rest him when he needs to rest him. And if these guys at their age are not happy with 23, 24 games, then they are not the sort of people that you should have. The mentality is not the right mentality.
And it's not if they're not happy. They're not. They are not. Because Chalobah, the older brother, left because of that.
No, Chalobah was different. Chalobah wasn't getting game time.
Why is it different?
Chalobah wasn't getting. Know your history, Boogeyman. Chalobah was getting 5 minutes substitution appearance there, 5 minutes. Go and just Wikipedia him up, and you'll see how many games he played for Chelsea. He hardly played for Chelsea, so you can't use the Chalobah situation because he wasn't getting. That's when Chelsea weren't playing the youth. They weren't playing the youth back then.
Under Conte,
so he wasn't getting. He wasn't.
He was just
playing
about to
under
get
Conte.
into it under Conte. It's just like he
Under
left
Conte.
the season. He left the season where I thought he was going to get more minutes. He went to go play for Watford because Southgate got to his head and said, "Listen, you can play. If you play more minutes, you're going to get in the England squad." Like Gaston.
He was young. He was getting minute here and there, and in the first team. And he said, "If we don't guarantee me more minute, I'll have to leave." Chelsea, we cannot guarantee you that.
There's a difference between getting. No, it's not the same. It's the difference between getting minutes here and there as a substitute or starting a game. You know, if I guarantee you, Ed Chalobah started at least 11 games that season, he would have stayed at Chelsea. Because he understands that it's a progression. But, you know, just putting in on, like, Fink used to do that a lot of times. Jose Mourinho just used to put on people as a token gesture for about 2 minutes. Yeah, I've introduced 6 youth to the club. No, you haven't. You just put them on for the last 2 minutes in a dead rubber match. You know, and that's not going. They're not going to appreciate things like that. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actual game time. You know, so the Mason Mount would be happy with 15, 20 games in a season. You know, if he's getting the games, getting the minutes, okay, he'll be happy with that. And I think a lot of the younger players will be happy with that. Look at Chalobah. Look at Chalobah, the other Chalobah now, Nat Chalobah. You haven't seen any grumbling from him. He's not played all the time, has he? But he's been getting game time, and he's been trusted to play. And so for me, that's the start of his progression. So it's a progressive thing. Once he starts to become more established, then he'll get more game time. You know, he's not going to, you know, so that's what you need to do. You need to gradually build up these younger players. You can't just expect them to be playing week in, week out. Their bodies are still growing. You know, the muscles of it. Because like a lot of players who started off young and played a lot of games, they're not around anymore. They're burnt out. Yeah. Are we going to address the second question, or do you want to carry on with this one, Baggy? I mean, we're calling Baggy. Mo,
I kind of wanted to jump on
the transfer one.
Let me just
about
the transfer thing.
Go on.
What's the second one? I can't remember it.
Hold on.
It was about the transfer.
Short time. Are you talking to us from the inside of a swimming pool?
Oh, that's how it sounds. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Before he does that, let's go on to
please?
Lewis Hall.
Can
I just do address the Lewis Hall situation? And Tobago's made a brilliant point here, because yesterday I'd have played Lewis Hall instead of Alonso. You know, Alonso did okay-ish, but Lewis Hall had a great debut the other day. I'd have started him. If he gets a bit tired, then you put Alonso on a bit afterwards, because this guy, you know, he should have been rewarded for an excellent performance in a cup. Okay, it was a cup game, but I still think that he could have been trusted in that game. Maybe, having said that, he's coming up against Tariq Lamptey, so that's the other thing that we have to consider. So you probably need a bit more experience. So I'm kind of talking myself out.
Let me hear from short time, and then I'll go to couch. Short time. Let me hear your audio. Short time.
Good.
No, it's still bad. It's still bad.
What about now?
Short time. No, again.
Hello.
We can hear you. Go ahead. Short time.
Okay.
You can't hear him.
You can hear me?
No, I was just joking.
No, you're good.
In regards to the transfer ban being a blessing and a curse, it has. I mean, when you notice when we had the transfer ban, we had the likes of Willian, we had the likes of Pedro Rodriguez. He was gone at that time as well, but Mount had to step in and play the role of being the leader of that position, because there was nobody that was in front of him that was in that position to be a superstar. Willian was gone already. You had the likes of Pulisic that came in, the Hudson-Odoi. So he took that position, and now he has to live with it because you are the man in that position. So he has to accept the fact that he is the man in that position.
Short time. Did he take the position, or was he put in that position by Frank Lampard?
I mean, he's Frank Lampard's wonder boy. I mean, if Frank Lampard give you the keys to a Lamborghini, you're not gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. You know, you got to accept what comes with the position. You wanted to play for your club. You wanted to play for your homegirl club. You got the keys to it. Now you have to accept it. But the fact that he has accepted it and he has dipped his form is where he needs some reassurance. Or if we bring in the likes of Hazard again, that will alleviate the pressure for him and allow us to be able to see him grow and develop like you guys want him. But at this time, there's no room to sit down and watch him grow and develop. You got to take that position that you have, and you have to go with it. You got to come. You got to show out or go home, or sit on the bench and laugh like you did during the Man City match, because that's what he did on the Man City match. Enjoyed his little time on the bench. You know, he has to accept. With Reece James, there's nobody in front of him. Reece James, you hold the key to that spot. That's what the problem is. There's no players, no superstars in front of them. It's just that they have the keys to those spots.
You know what? We can have a Lamborghini, and I can have two drivers driving that Lamborghini. I can have Reece James driving it and somebody else. So, we can strengthen without. See, I want to have competition between the players for the spots, and I want to see the best players starting. And this is one of the issues that we have right now, because we have attackers, but they're not competing against each other, because Tuchel is just picking him, and trying to find a combination that's going to work. They're never been working, and that is what is a problem. There is no competition for the attack. We don't have someone to compete with Lukaku, because Kai Havertz is not a striker. He's not really competing with Lukaku. He is filling in when Lukaku is injured, when Lukaku is engaged with other things. He's filling in. I want someone to make Lukaku worry about his spot. I want to hear what Couch wants to add to this. Couch, let me hear your thoughts, mate.
I mean, a lot has been covered, and I think that most of it is very, very valid, both positive and negative. I just think that when you look at the transfer ban, you analyze what actually happened then, and then what happened subsequent to that after the transfer ban. It's stark, right? Like, we were able to identify players in our academy that can play first team football at a level we weren't necessarily expected to be challenging for the top four at that point. We're expected to just be bubbling underneath that, and they kind of exceeded the expectations and got us in the top four and, to a cup final and whatnot. And then the next step now is like, we have now established ourselves as a team, as a squad, as a club that can bring through players and have them play meaningful roles for a team that has won the Champions League now. So now what's the next step? Okay, after Lampard's tenure, we went out and bought a bunch of players, and I just released a video. I'm not plugging it anymore. I just got to put this one thing, but I did touch on this one aspect of the club that I think we don't necessarily like to focus on, and it's the fact that a lot of these players that are bought with corporate interests at hand. We have to also look at the corporate aspect of this club. We need to be bringing in players that are highly visible. Like Nike wants players that sell T-shirts, sell jerseys and stuff like that. And I think that the corporate interest is also a part of this whole thing of the club. The problem is we haven't necessarily looked at
Absolutely.
We haven't really looked at the player acquisition from the managerial perspective, for the same reasons that I've been saying before. We continually keep rotating manager, and we can only really address one or two areas per window, especially when we're also looking to fulfill our corporate interests as well. So the problem is twofold. It's not just the fact that Chelsea are not identifying players for Thomas Tuchel, or the fact that Chelsea have a glut of players that can't be used because their wages are too high and they don't necessarily work in the system that the manager's playing. But it's also the fact that every time we go into the transfer window, we're looking at corporate interest over the fact that, over what the player over what the club needs. So somebody like Mason Mount comes in. One sec. Somebody like Mason Mount comes in, gives you incredible performances, under Lampard, and then again under Tuchel. Instead of supplementing that, you've now just said, okay, well, he's fine. Let's leave that alone and not bring in players to supplement what his level is. We haven't done that at all. In any position have we done that? Have we looked at what we have that has been excellent, like Reece James is excellent? How do we supplement underneath him? We've never done that. And I think that that's the problem with the club right now. We're not at the position where we can bring in players that supplement the the great minutes that we're getting from some of the other players, like the Reece James, the Mace Mountains, and the whole host of others that have come through the academy. And until we can slow down and corporate interests aside, and then allow this club. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Is there any copyright material in your video?
Never. What do you mean?
I mean, is it like any footage of football matches or anything? No.
Well, the intro, but it's pretty long.
No, the intro.
Yeah,
I've seen it. Do you mind if we watch it together?
Yeah, the first part of it is probably the best part because it's about the board and what their interests are. But yeah, if you want,
all right, let's watch it. Let's watch it. People, I'm gonna link. Yeah, well, one second, Boogie. I'm gonna link in the chat the Couch Critics YouTube channel. Don't subscribe to him. Don't watch it. Don't like it. I'm just gonna put it out there, but don't click on this link.
Don't listen.
You're gonna get the same treatment, Couch.
don't click on it. Don't subscribe to him. His channel is really, really bad. And to prove how bad his channel is, I'm actually gonna play one of his videos live on stream so you can see how bad his content is. So don't subscribe to him.
I haven't had him back since the first video this year. You see the hate we get, folks? You see the hate?
Go on, Boogie. What do you want to say? What do you want to say before we play the video?
The corporate interest things is Lukaku a corporate buy?
Yeah, I think that he answers, the big name player. Like, he's a big name striker. You can't deny that. Whether or not he fits what you describe as a big name striker, he is. He's one of the most sought after strikers in the world right now.
Coach, that's a funny face to start with.
Well, it's literally the first thing on the screen. All right, so let's hear this. Let's hear this.
Things we need to discuss that go well beyond the tactics. Let's get into it.
And blue is the colour. Essien! Drogba! Lampard! That could be the
championship. Greetings! Welcome back to Couch Critic with me, Dennis P, for what is traditionally a Chelsea match review and more specifically a tactical synopsis, but we're not going to be doing any of that for this particular video. We're going to be focusing on some of the other things around the club, asking some of the other questions that need to be asked right now and get them answered. But before I get into that, I do have to let you guys know that I do have a sponsor for the show. They go by the name of Major League Socks. And fellas, if you ever want to walk in the footsteps of greatness, you know what to do, man. Hit them up. The link will be in the description. Okay, let's get some of the housekeeping out of the way. Chelsea drew Brighton away, and Hakim Ziyech was a goal scorer. Fantastic strike. And it was equalized in the second half by Webster. In this match review, we're going to be focusing on three things, but we're not going to be looking at any sort of tactical analysis. We're just going to be looking at the club structure and everything that surrounds that. We're going to start with the board. We're going to look at the management, Thomas Tuchel and the staff, and then we're also going to look at the players to try and get my own assessment as to what I think is happening on all those levels and whether or not Chelsea are in a position where they can fix that. Okay, so as we look at the Chelsea board, there are certain things that we need to consider. Obviously, Chelsea are a club that are very ambitious and want to be winning at every level, every competition they want to win. And whether that be from the youth system, the women's game, the men's game, obviously the expectations are extremely high. And obviously that comes down from the board, but not only just the board, but the owner. The owner wants the success as well. He's putting all the money in, and he wants to see this club be successful in every competition we're in. With that, the expectations come a lot of challenges at the board level. Like, we want instant success all the time. And with, when you're chopping and changing the managers every 2-3 years, every 18 months, you're chopping and changing the playing staff to suit the new manager, and you still have the dead weight of the players that were not successful under the old regime, and you're trying to shift them out. That's a challenging job. How do you move Ross Barkley? How do you move Danny Drinkwater? How do you move Bakayoko? All these players that were bought for a particular style of football that haven't been able to play within the squad, and now, because they're on wages of over 100K a week, how do you move them on and bring in players, that A-list players that the new manager wants now? So, Chelsea's wage bill is obviously astronomically high. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that we can't move players that no longer fit the style of football that we want to play at the club. the style of play that the manager wants to play. And, you get the likes of, just dead weight that can't be moved. And until they run down their contracts, it's like, you're bringing in players for the new manager that may not be the A-list players because you can't afford to, put them on the wages that they desire based on the fact that, like, you have all this other dead weight that is just like, around your neck, So I think that is part of the struggle, when we're talking about bringing in players to, back the manager and like make sure that Thomas Tuchel is not, the latest casualty of the managerial merry-go-round at Chelsea is, how do we bring in these new players when we have so much players that represent dead weight at the club, But having said that, there have been a lot of missteps at the board level that have contributed to the dead wood that's been at the club. I mean, right now there's a lot of talk that, in the media, in, Chelsea circles, as to whether or not Romelu Lukaku was indeed a Thomas Tuchel signing or if it was just a board signing, bringing in these marquee names, these high-priced marquee names, young talents, to appease corporate sponsors, Nike. Nike needs to have the best players in their kits. We need to have players that, can sell jerseys and whatnot. And, they only give us, the 40 million or 40 million pound or whatever it is a year based on the fact that not only can we be successful, but we can also attract the best talent in the world. So, there is a hunger from the board level to appease our sponsors on that level as well. And, I don't know, maybe the...
Hold on a second. Guys, while I try to fix the stream, just give me a second.
Great.
I'm not sure what happened there.
Great process, though. I like that, Coach. That's very interesting. Wow. Nah, that's good. That's
Thanks, Showtime. Thank you.
On the nail right
Feel free
there,
to subscribe at any time.
I am subscribed. No worries.
Don't subscribe to Couch Critic, guys. Do not.
What a hater, man.
Do not.
A lovely content, Coach. As usual.
Here we go. Listen, do not subscribe. If you subscribe to Couch Critic, then I will ban you from my channel. That link that I've put in the chat, do not click on it. Do not click on that link in the chat. All right, do not click on the link. Do not subscribe. And I'm not doing reverse psychology. I promise you. Now, here we go. Let's go.
Whatever it is, a year based on the fact that not only can we be successful, but we can also attract the best talent in the world. So, there is a hunger from the board level to appease our sponsors on that level as well. And, I don't know, maybe the problem is that we're not necessarily addressing the needs of the manager and the style of football that the manager wants to play before we're addressing the needs of the corporate sponsor. There was talk a couple of years ago, that Yokohama was going to be helping Chelsea buy a Japanese star. I can't remember the name of the player. I think he ended up going to Newcastle and just flopping. And, there was lots of talk in the media at the time that Chelsea were trying to buy this guy to appease the corporate sponsors, just because that's a market where they're trying to tap into. And with Yokohama on the shirt, it made sense to try and go after, a player from that region to be their marketing tool. And these are the types of missteps. Granted, we didn't do that, but these are the types of things that are happening every day at the club. We're not buying players that fit the particular style of football that the manager wants to play. We're buying players that fit the corporate brand. And, when you get down that road, when you start doing that, you start seeing all these fissures and holes within the club as is. And I think the board have a responsibility to not only appease the corporate sponsors, but first and foremost, make sure the football is being brought into the club and, is basically in tune with what the manager wants to do. And I don't know if that's happened over the last little while, mainly because of the fact that, number one, we're always chopping and changing the managers, but also due to the fact that the players that are brought in aren't necessarily the guys that actually suit the style of football that the manager wants to employ. So I'm wondering whether or not the board is having more say in player acquisition than the manager, who is basically not a manager, is a head coach, a trainer. That's the title that they've given these guys right now. It's not manager. You're not managing, the football operations of this club as, previous managers like Sir Alex Ferguson, Wenger, like whoever, like Jose Mourinho and his pomp. Like, those types of signings are no longer happening anymore. Now you're being brought to the club to, work with the playing staff that the board and their scouts and directors have assigned to you. And I don't know if that's the best way to fulfill the commitment and the expectations of winning all the time, because you can buy as many marquee players as you want. If they don't fit into a philosophy.
Yeah, I'm having issues playing this. 1 second, lads.
Well, the link is there. We don't have to. That was basically that was basically the end of that segment. Anyways, if you guys want to follow up and watch what I was saying about Tuchel or about the playing staff, then by all means go click the link and check it out. But the crux of it, the board and what they've been doing at the corporate level. I mean, am I wrong in assuming that like a lot of these purchases have been more with corporate interests in mind more so than the football? Because I don't understand how. We've repeatedly bought the exact same player over and over again, the same style, the same position over and over again without any consideration for how we want to play football.
Coach, listening to the video until now, I do have a question for you.
Sure.
Mo, can I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, I completely understand your perspective when you say, there is a different segments of markets that you're trying to capture. Maybe Pulisic for the American market, or African. We've got some African players that we usually, always have in the squad, so that we have that African market as well captured. The same goes for the other continent as well. I get your perspective on that, but tell me one thing. Isn't this the same strategy that is being followed across all the Premier League clubs? And if that is the case, how is it kind of different from that of what Chelsea is doing, and what Chelsea is actually doing extra that is actually impacting the way that we conduct the actual business with the footballing side of the business of things?
I question that. Is it happening at the other successful clubs? Because I don't think that Man City buy players without winning in mind. I don't think they have the corporate brand in mind, because they're sponsored by their owners, right? So I don't think that they have to worry about that.
I mean,
with Liverpool.
So when we say sponsors, right? Again, there's a bit of difference there. One is the principal sponsor, which you could argue Etihad is the principal sponsor for them. But there are other extra sponsors that they actually have in the squad. So they definitely have to do certain, corporate marketing or corporate revenue generating things for them in terms of sponsorship. If you know what I mean.
So when you say like Nike, for instance, okay, so Nike gave Chelsea, I don't know, I think it's like upwards of 60 million a season, right? And
I'll have to check the numbers.
they want to know that they have corporate, they're going to be attracting the best players. That's what Chelsea do. We have the best players, and we're going to bring them, and we're going to win trophies and stuff. And you're going to get this because this amount, because I know that this is what you're going to be doing for the next 10 years. With Man United got assigned an enormous deal, and it was on the pretense that they're going to be playing Champions League football year after year. That number went down significantly because they weren't able to secure Champions League football. So their incentives were different to that of Chelsea's. When you look at Man City, they're with Puma, right? Puma don't really have a real. I mean, it's Adidas and Nike, and then everything underneath them, right? So I don't think that they have the exact same sort of, sway, interest, and power as, say, somebody like Nike or Adidas has in terms of like how they're structuring how you build your squad in some ways, right? I'm probably not articulating myself correctly, but I'm hoping that you understand that I think that Puma is not necessarily on the same level as like Adidas and Nike in terms of football right now.
I get that, but you're talking only from the branding perspective, like from the sports branding perspective. There are other sponsors as well involved, right? And that is where I think, maybe they're not so much involved like Nike here. Like you said, Nike is probably getting the more, is probably giving us the more amount of income. But on the other hand, I'm thinking towards maybe other sponsors that these guys have to respond to, like City and or other teams. They have to respond to. It doesn't have to be eventually those kit sponsors like Nike, right? It could be other areas of sponsorship.
For instance, with Chelsea, it would be I don't know, Tag or something like that.
Three. Got the three company.
Okay,
right?
three. Yeah. So, what would be the thing that they would have to get out of three?
I guess they are into telecommunication or something. I don't know what they're actually working on, but it's a famous brand actually.
So the most obvious thing is when people see the huge 3 logo, right, on the shirts, they when you see something, it's a form of advertising, right? So people check it out, and more people.
Exactly. What I was going to ask is, isn't the fact that we have the logo on our shirt is that's the tool we use? They're using the fact that we have it on our shirt to marketing their product, right?
Yeah.
So do we have to really buy expensive player for the deal to go through, or for them to increase the amount they pay us yearly or whatever they do?
Well,
We have
I mean, in terms of Nikes, it's about selling shirts, right? And you don't
Exactly.
sell shirts with Bakayoko on the back. You know what I'm saying? You don't sell shirts with Marcus Alonso on the back. You sell shirts with marquee names. That's the difference.
Yeah, I see what. Yeah, okay, yeah, I can see. I see what you mean, but yeah, go.
Boogeyman is
what
already thinking of getting an Alonso T-shirt now.
He's already got one. What do you mean?
No, you guys are funny. You don't know what I feel about how I feel about Alonso. No, what I was trying to say is my understanding of the marketing is if Chelsea is participating in a lot of tournament, different Champions League, the European, all those things, bringing the logo into all continent. That's the reason why we get the deal with the sponsor. No, that we have to sign marquees and anyways, I'm not really.
I think it goes down. It goes twofold. Like I said, like obviously Nike wants to sell shirts, and you need players to sell shirts. With 3, you're right. I think that they're looking for brand. They're looking to build their brand and trying to get into markets where they may not have been before. So Yokohama would have been another example of that. The tire deal. They're trying to expand their brand and whatnot. But I think the shirt deal in particular is about trying to attract the biggest names so you can sell shirts.
So if Chelsea sign a contract with Nike, then they will put in a contract. Okay, and during the duration of that contract, you need to sign a top striker of a value of something. Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't know. Again, I can't really speak to the specifics of it, but I do believe that they have a hand in, like, they want marquee players. You know what I mean? Before we signed Lukaku, who was our marquee player at the club? Before that, it was like Havertz, right? Or sorry, even before him, it was Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard was our marquee player, right? And then after him, what happened the year after him? We had nobody, absolutely nobody.
Boogeyman, I think the contract will not have anything of that sort in place, but then the value of the contract will decrease as much as marquee players. If you don't have marquee players, the kind of contract that you'll get with Nike will be less than what you will get with having a marquee player with you. You get my point, right?
I understand what you're saying, but I can argue that all day because when the contract is signed, it is signed. You don't want to just add expenses to your budget. If you have a contract, just to want to sign a market player to please the sponsor, I don't think it's wise. That's where I'm going with my logic.
No, I get you, but like I'm pretty sure that's how the business is played. Like you want Nike players in Nike kits. You want Adidas players. It just helps the business, the brand of the business altogether, right? There was talk a couple of years ago, they were talking about, Chelsea wants to sign said player because Pulisic is a Nike player and we have a Nike shirt, get him in the squad, it wasn't so much about footballing reasons as much as about marketability. And we're still hearing that to this day, that Pulisic was more of a marketing tool more so than he is, this next level after Eden Hazard, like marquee player. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Welcome to the business channel, lads. I'm gonna
get back to it. I gotta run anyway. I gotta go pick up my kid. But it was great talking to you guys. And yeah, if this goes any further, man, I would love to jump on it again because it's interesting to me. It's interesting to me. But fellas, I gotta go.
Take care, Couch.
We'll talk again soon.
Hey, listen, Couch. Tomorrow. I want to see you tomorrow, mate. Yeah,
I'll do it.
All right, sweet. See you tomorrow. Take care, brother. All right, guys. I wanna address something. By the way, tomorrow we have a fantastic stream lined up for you guys. A special guest. Hopefully, will be on with us tomorrow for a Q&A stream. I think you'll all be very interested to put your questions to him. A great YouTuber, Chelsea YouTuber. All right. I wanna show you guys something, and we'll talk about this before we end. This is the table as it stands. Just look at the number of games. Chelsea has played 23 games. Yeah. You see, you guys seeing this? 17, 20, yes. 21, 19, 19, 20, 22, 20, 21, 21, 19, 21, 20, 21, 20, 19, 22, 23, 21, 22. We are the only team in the Premier League who has not had a game postponed. Can you see that?
It's like last season, before Lampard got sacked.
No, Man City only played 22.
Yeah,
22. They've had one.
The reason why is
they've had one. Man City had
because of the World Club Cup.
They had. Man City have had one postponed game. They've had one.
No, they haven't. They have. What are you trying to say on this one?
No, I'm just trying to show you. I mean, this is when Tuchel is talking about this. He has every right to talk about this. Every right to talk about this.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. Okay,
I mean,
it's a bias.
We played 20. We played 23, and no one else in the league has played 23. Now, Max says. Hold on. Max says Man City haven't had a game postponed. I'm not sure. I mean, I thought they had because they had an outbreak. So reschedule maybe.
No. The reason why we've played the extra game is because we're playing the World Club Cup, and that's when we're going to be playing Brighton. Right. So they moved it forward.
Okay. Now, the second thing I want to show you guys is the fixtures, which is what Max is touching on. Now, we've got a game against Tottenham in the Premier League, and then we don't play another Premier League game for nearly a month because the next fixture in the Premier League is on the 19th of February with Crystal Palace. So what we're playing is Plymouth Argyle, and then we're in the World Club Cup in Abu Dhabi for a couple of games, hopefully, and we'll come back with the trophy. And then we're back to playing Crystal Palace, and then we're back in the Champions League. So, after this game, say again, Boogie.
What are how many days do we have between games in that tournament?
Right. In the World Club Cup.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to win the semi-final before they'll post the final. I'm guessing a few days later, maybe 2, 3, 4 days after the semi-final. And again, I'm guessing I don't know the dates.
And why 1 month? Why do we have 1 month off? That was my question.
There is an international break in there somewhere. I think there's a international break in there somewhere. I think, I'm assuming. I don't have the dates, but so after tomorrow's game, after Sunday's game, we're not going to have any Premier League football for Chelsea until the Crystal Palace game on the 19th. So that's one thing to look at. FA Cup, World Club Cup, and then Crystal Palace in the Premier League, and then Champions League fixture, Premier League, Champions League, Premier League, and then I'm guessing. Hold on, where's the League Cup final? Why isn't the League Cup final on there?
The League Cup final is
the game yet.
It has. It's
on the end of February.
Yeah.
It's at the end of February.
Yeah. Okay.
27th.
Yeah.
All right, so that's where we are.
Mo,
yeah, go on.
I just wanted to add something. Max was talking about Manchester City not having any games postponed. Let's not forget, we played the extra 3 EFL games that they didn't have to play.
True.
So that's an addition for us. I mean, the deeper we go into competition, we have more games to play.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to make excuses for us and Man City. No. The point I'm trying to make is we have played a lot of games and we've
More
not
than
had a
anybody
break
else.
while everybody else has had a break. Everyone else has had at least one fixture.
This
I mean,
year-
you can see how many teams have had 2-3 fixtures postponed.
I agree.
Go on, Max.
Yeah, this
He
year
had the
alone we've played
largest
6
fixtures.
games. We've played 6 games this year. Manchester City have played 3, so we've played double the amount of games they've played this year.
Yeah.
I put a link. It's for Max. Chalobah was part of the 2016-2017 team. Yeah, if you click on it, you will see he was.
But he didn't play. He didn't play Boogeyman.
Yeah, but I think only Tuchel bring that concept of moving players, switching. Under Conte, he has the starting 11, and Chalobah come in most of the time. That's what I'm saying.
He didn't start under Tuchel.
He didn't play, man.
No. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about Chalobah under Conte.
I mean,
This is
even
Nathaniel
Ampadu.
Chalobah.
Don't forget, Ampadu was in the squad, right? As well. But Ampadu barely played.
Yeah, but so what
This
you
is
showing me?
this is the older brother.
What
This
you
is the
showing
older
me?
brother.
I
but
said
what's he showing me?
what I'm trying to
What
say. No, what I'm trying to say, Nathaniel Chalobah was part of the 2016-2017 team, but even that he decided to leave because of game time. But he was part of it, and he was on the bench most of the time, coming in. If you click on each game.
But what's
Yeah,
what,
but he
what do
wasn't
you- what's
starting. That's the
what's the
problem.
point?
No,
of-
He was
the
coming on
what
as
I-
a substitute.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is the fact that we complaining that Mount is being running to the ground is if we don't do that, Mount will leave. Mount will not stay at Chelsea.
No, he won't. No, he won't.
I don't agree with that.
Yes, he will. His ego is
He doesn't
gonna
have to
let him
play.
run him out the
No,
club.
it's not. Okay, so why you
Mount didn't
assuming-
play Manchester City game last time. He was not happy about it. You can see it.
Showtime just mentioned about his ego. Why are you
What do
assuming?
you mean he
that
wasn't
Mount has
happy?
some
He was laughing on the bench.
Why
It didn't look unhappy to
why
me.
are you assuming Mount has ego all of a sudden?
Why wouldn't he have it? He's considered a superstar in our team. If he doesn't get what he wants, he's gonna end up going. That's part of his ego.
He's not a superstar. He's not a superstar. And
We, as Chelsea fans, we see him as a key player and a superstar in our team. There's nobody that can tell me he's not a key factor to.
There's
Even
nothing-
Mo said it. He is a
Showtime.
contributor to what goes on within our attack. Without Mount, we are lifeless. That's what it's basically saying.
In fact, the reason why I'm showing this, I'm not showing it to say I'm right or not. I'm just saying, in fact, Chelsea as a whole has to make sure the youth understand that not playing them often is good for themselves. It's not that concept of game time has to be suppressed. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
I agree with Boogeyman here. So first thing is,
He's probably
Showtime, this
explained-
took 3 years for him. This took 3 years for Mount, basically. Now you can argue that if Mason Mount is not getting time, he could probably leave. He might not leave and all that. But this is 3 years after what he's come into the squad. He's broken into the squad. It's been 3 years. Do you think every single player coming into Chelsea is going to get 3 years like this number of game times? That's not going to happen, right? This is one-off case where you have Mason Mount like this.
Yeah,
Not
but
every
I'm saying that Boogie said if you think Mason Mount doesn't get the same amount of game time that he's getting now, would it run him out of the club? Yes, I do. His ego will let him leave.
No, so look, Showtime, don't
No.
forget, Mount is a player who wants to play for Chelsea. Don't forget that. He had chances to leave.
He wants
could
to
have-
play for Chelsea, but if he doesn't get what he wants, he's going to end up going.
No,
if he's getting 10 minutes here, 15 minutes here, 5
But
minutes here, you think he's going to
you
stay?
didn't let me finish. What I'm saying is he wants to play for Chelsea and he wants to fight for his place. That was always his goal. So it's not just about getting into the team, it's about becoming a starter. So he gets into the team and he forces his way into the starting lineup. And if he's not in the starting lineup, he's going to push and he's going to fight to get back into the starting lineup. That is the kind of player Mount is. So this idea of this idea of
That is
not-
a transfer
that-
ban. He didn't
we
really
have
force
one-
his way into the team.
Yeah, but Eric Blue,
He
can I
did,
say
he did.
something quick? Why did Livramento left? Because he doesn't have a
Livramento-
name to fight
Livramento
for that
didn't
position,
get-
right?
Yeah,
Let
he
me
didn't
finish.
get into this. Okay.
He doesn't have a name to fight for that position. Why did Lamptey left? Because he doesn't have a name and he decided to let you go, right? So the problem is, if Chelsea as a whole does not tell those players, or does not make sure they understand the fact that when they come to the first the first team, they will just be on the bench, come in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, sometimes like cup games, and they have to be satisfied with those minutes and know that because of their youth, because they're so young, that's what they require, no more than that.
I agree with you, Boogeyman.
But
because,
but still, the actual status of those players is they want to go there and play enough game. That's why Lamptey right now is playing the entire season for Brighton. I mean, he was injured. Let's not go too far. But that's exactly the reason why Livramento is playing full season for Southampton. So if they don't get the same amount of game with Chelsea, if you don't give him the insurance, they won't sign a contract. They won't stay with us.
Everybody is different. Everybody's
They're
different.
not going to be playing week in, week
Mount
out,
didn't
though,
force
are
his way into the team.
He
Mount
did.
didn't
He
force his
did.
way into the team.
He did because
No, he
obviously he
didn't.
got a kick. No, he did because Lampard didn't have to pick him.
He had a transfer
No,
ban.
Lampard
He was
didn't
given
have
the
to-
keys.
Guys, don't
Who's he
forget.
battling for the position?
Lampard didn't have to put these players in there. He didn't. People overstate this thing. Everybody pretends like Lampard had to bring the youth players. No, he didn't. He could have just used what we had, like the way Sarri did. Sarri just used the players he had. Every time, Willian, Pedro, they all play. Barkley comes on for Kovačić. Kovačić comes on for Barkley. So let's not pretend as if Mount was just going to walk into the team. Everybody is different. These players, Mount, Reece James, Callum Hudson. Okay, maybe
So
not Callum
you're telling me
Hudson-Odoi.
if they were not given a chance and repeating given chance, they
My
will.
point is they
Yeah, okay.
wanted to be involved.
All Chelsea
There was
academy
never an
want-
assurance. No, but they didn't
Oh,
want
wow.
to fight. They didn't want to fight for their
Eric,
place.
who was the manager of Chelsea at the time?
It was Frank Lampard who gave them a chance.
Who was
right?
who was the assistant of Frank Lampard?
Jordi Morris.
What was Jordi Morris's role before?
That doesn't change what I'm saying. It doesn't have any bearing on. We've seen
No,
that
it does.
Tuchel,
Yeah, but it does.
Tuchel
It does.
is
It
willing
does.
to.
Listen,
No,
if-
Tuchel is
No.
willing.
Hold on. No, 1 second. Let's not jump the story. Let's take it from the beginning. Frank Lampard came in with us losing Hazard, with us unable to strengthen. Yes, he could have utilized the team that he inherited, but to go forward, to improve, to strengthen the squad, the only way he could do it is to bring in academy lads. The fact that he had Jordi Morris with him, a person who has trained and has developed a lot of these academy lads, was a bonus because he could utilize the academy in the best possible way. And I think Frank Lampard and Jordi Morris, they did a fantastic job. When you look at the second season, with the injection of 9 new players, Frank Lampard then should have tried to relieve some of that pressure that was placed on Tammy Abraham, Callum, Reece James, Mason Mount, others. He should relieve that pressure because he has now brought in replacements. He has now brought in a new set of players. Instead, what did he do, Lampard? He wanted to find a way where he could keep Mason Mount playing. He played him out left as a left winger. He played him as an attacker. He played him as a second striker. He played him as a number 8. He played him as a holding midfielder. He played him in every single position on that midfield and upwards. Okay, because he wanted to incorporate him into every single lineup he had, and that was a mistake. What he did season 1, no issues with it. On the contrary, he did a fantastic job season 1, him and Jordi Morris. But in season 2, that's when he should have relieved some of that pressure and stopped them from burning out. Because Max Burton, spot on with Michael Owen, spot on with Fowler. Okay, and there's others. If we look back, I think Michael Forsell for Chelsea, he didn't quite have the career that he could have had because he was introduced at a very young age. Pressure was put on him, and he didn't really fulfill his potential.
Eden Hazard.
That doesn't have anything to do with what I'm talking about.
What do you mean?
It doesn't have anything to. All I was arguing with Boogeyman is Boogeyman is saying if these players aren't assured minutes to that will potentially run them into the ground, they won't sign the new contracts and stay at Chelsea. And my answer is no. That's not correct. I don't believe it.
No. If you have Mason Mount as being your go-to player in midfield, Reece James is your go-to player as a right wing back, and then you bring in competition, bring in a player who will take that spot, then you're going to have a problem. But if you bring them into that position gradually, then you're able to stop them from burning out. That's what I'm trying to say. In regards to the contract, signing the contract, not signing the contract. I mean, we promised Callum, a fantastic role within the team. He'll be playing, he'll be getting the tennis shirt, all that kind of hype. He signed a contract, and we didn't fulfill it. We didn't really give him what we promised we were going to give him, but we got him to sign that contract. So, politics play a part, selection play a part, and the changing of managers plays a part. And this is why the most important thing for us to do right now is to have a continuation in respect to Tuchel and him being at the helm for at least a couple of seasons, because keeping managers at the club for 18 months and then saying goodbye to him isn't healthy for building chemistry, for building form, for developing the squad. Guys, I'm gonna end the stream. Let me just have a look at the private chat. Julius, man, where did he go?
I think he had to leave.
He left.
Yeah, he hasn't said nothing for a while. Anyway, So guys, great discussion, great debate. Did we hit 100 likes? I don't think we did. 89 likes. 11.
We still have 50 people in it.
You guys should. I'll tell you what. If you guys can hit 100 likes, we'll stay on for another 15 minutes. If you hit 100 likes, we'll stay on for 15 more minutes.
If
you don't, we'll end the stream. So,
yeah, I do actually. Because I still disagree with what Hassan said.
We'll hear Eric. We'll hear what Eric has to say, disagreeing with me. This might be the last time you'll see Eric on this channel, so we'll just wait and see. Go on, Eric. Let me hear it.
Yeah, look. So, my point is that even if I'm not saying that someone has to compete with Reece James, because I think every player understands the concept of being rested. So even when James was the number one player, we knew that Aspi played on the right as a right-sided centre-back, or he was a second choice right wing-back, right? And now he's the only right wing-back because Reece James is injured. So my point is, even if everybody understands that James is the number one player, he still needs to get rested. He can't play every single game. So whether it's somebody competing with him for the same position or somebody who everybody accepts as a number two, he still needs that option, that second option. And for me, Aspi can't do it. So someone else needs to be there. And that's all I'm saying. And this whole idea that players need to be assured, crazy amounts of game time, I just don't agree with it. I don't believe it. Some players are willing to fight, like Mount, and some players are not willing to fight to get into the squad, and that's how it is. So that's the way I see it. Everybody's different.
Do you see fighting spirit right now from Mount, from Callum, from the youngsters? I mean, I see fighting spirit from Chalobah, but the rest, do you see fighting spirit?
All I see right now is just fatigue. Everybody just looks tired.
Yeah, short time. Would you want to add?
It's not more so assurance right now. Like you said, there is no competition for these players. If we drop Mount, who do we play? Are we getting production out of the players that's coming in from Mount? So if it's more so, if Mount sits on the bench for the next 5 games, you think he would be happy that he's sitting on the bench? Or you think that if a contract is coming up in the summer, that he has to sign a new contract? Think he's going to sign a contract after he's been benched for 5 to 10, 15 games? You can't bench him and expect him to sign a new contract. He wants to consistently play. And you see that, like you said, is wear him down. England is running him down. Then we got to use him. So if there's no competition, then he's going to keep playing and he's going to be run down. And he's just going to be burnt out. So that's the problem.
Yeah.
You got to back Tuchel and bring in what he wants.
True.
And
True.
And one thing. And one
hold on,
thing
VJ. Hold on, VJ. Hold on, VJ. If we haven't hit 100 likes, we might be ending the stream. So before I let you talk, let me see. Oh, 97. All right. By the time VJ finishes his comment, if we don't have 100 likes, we'll end the stream. If we have 100 likes, we'll give you 15 more minutes. Go on, VJ.
All right. So one thing that we keep forgetting when it comes to Mason Mount is that Mason Mount is a very good player. He plays for England right now, and he's playing for Chelsea, maybe off the form right now. But compare his production rate with respect to the wages that he is on. Right? That's an immaculate deal. And that happened because he was part of the academy. I get that. But you cannot do every time the same thing. Like, not everyone would want to be in Mason Mount's wages and contribute this much to the club. You get my point, right? If you do the same thing with Cho might not even agree to the deal. Because he might want more financial compensation and he might want to go for a different club, which financially benefits him more. Yeah, I understand Mason Mount has a different affection to the badge and everything, but you cannot expect every single player coming through Cobham to have the same affection, because a lot of people come there because that's the top club in the country. So when you graduate out of Cobham, you are guaranteed a place in the Premier League most of the time. So it's a pathway for them. It doesn't have to be always the badge for them. You get my point, right?
Yeah,
I get your point. We cannot always argue that just because a player comes through the academy, he naturally would want to play for Chelsea Football Club. That doesn't have to be the case always. Maybe they used Cobham as a graduation point, and then they want to move to a different club that they see their future at, and they have all rights to do that.
I'm agreeing with you, but the thing is this. Did you guys see how easy it was for you to get 100 likes? Why don't you just start from the beginning? Just do it from the beginning, so we don't keep on asking. You got 15 minutes. You got 15 minutes. In the chat, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna put the link in the chat and give you guys an opportunity to come on and give us your thoughts, because you've actually done me a favor by hitting 100 likes. I'm gonna do you a favor by giving you the opportunity to come on and discuss with us. So we'll have about 20 minutes, half an hour. 20 minutes. We'll have 20 minutes of an open discussion. Yeah, go ahead.
I just saw a comment from Werner. He says, let's sell Mount to Man City, VJ. I was never saying that. I want Mason Mount to be in the club, but I'm not sure how many Mason Mounts can Chelsea Football Club produce every single time, because a lot depends on the player than the board trying to bring that sort of a mentality into a player.
I want them to bring in somebody that's going to give him some competition, because it seems like right now he's too keen on him being the superstar of the club or boy wonder of the club, that he has no competition, or he can't be dropped for too long. I want to bring in somebody that's going to make sure he's dropped for a couple games, give him a run for his money.
Someone who should humble him, right?
Yep, like an Eden Hazard. Hazard would do that in a quick second. Bring back Hazard. That's financially good, and that's good for the team.
All right, boys, the link is in the chat, and we have our first guest. Let me just change the screen to this one and then add him on. Oh, we've got two guests. We've got Tobago and we've got Chris. All right, let's hear from Tobago. Tobago, welcome to the stream. What do you want to say, mate?
How are you guys?
Well, okay.
All good, buddy.
How are you?
I'm good. Actually, I've got nothing more to say. I'm going to beg Thomas Tuchel what he said after the game yesterday. Our players are so tired. because like they're playing games week in, week out.
Tobago, we've lost you there for a second. Tobago?
I think he's gone.
Tobago.
You said week out and you are week out now.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Tobago, go out and come back in. Go out and come back in. I think you did TV set.
No problem.
All right. Let me hear from Chris. Chris, welcome to the stream. What do you want to tell us, mate?
How is everybody? Is everyone good?
Good, fantastic. How you doing, mate?
So before I talk about the performance, I always want to look at the good side of things in life. Now, Kazim, can you see my profile picture? I just changed it there, right?
I can.
If people think that times are bad now, I just think back to when we got Zaba Costa and drink water. That was a bad time, wasn't it? I don't want to see them times. But as for the performance yesterday,
wait, it's interesting who you have in the centre. Are you trying to emphasise something by that?
No, not because the picture it wouldn't allow me to put the all of them in it. So,
okay.
But yeah, the performance yesterday, because I messaged you on Twitter, mate, I think I summed it up perfectly. Pulisic, too inconsistent. Hudson-Odoi, too inconsistent. Ziyech, too inconsistent. The performance yesterday, it's getting a bit, what's the word? Repetitive now in terms of performances. The performances are getting a bit, it's just like, come on, you know what I mean? They need to start pulling their weight. So I think everyone's summed up. It was just a poor performance yesterday.
Chris, question to you.
Yeah.
Do you think it's and again I'm asking this to everyone because I'm trying to understand what everyone thinks. Is the issue with us fatigue, or is there dissent in the dressing room?
What was it? What was the second question? Fatigue and what? Sorry.
Dissent. Is there issues within the dressing room? Is there problems between the players?
Issue in the morale of the dressing room.
Could be a mixture of both. I think you see Lukaku and Ziyech having a bit of a disagreement when they're going in at half time. But I don't think that excuses the kind of performances in the final third. I mean, it's just Werner came on and done more in 10 minutes than Lukaku done in the whole game. So it's like I just think it's lazy. I think it is lazy. I just think Lukaku, mate, come on. The chances he's getting, you need to be scoring. Hudson-Odoi, I keep hearing people making excuses for him. I know he comes from Cobham and all that's Chelsea. He's a Chelsea, he comes from the Chelsea Academy, but how many chances are we going to give this fella? Because I think how many goals has he scored? 5 league goals in 4 seasons? Not good enough. It's not good enough. I think that's a statistic anyway. I might be wrong, but it's definitely low. He doesn't score goals and he doesn't provide enough. He has 1 good game every 10 games, so it's not good enough. It's just a bit annoying. Really, really is annoying. But as I say, when I started the chat, I always want to look at the good things, and I just look at that picture I put up there. Danny Drinkwater and Zaba Costa, that transfer window, I don't want to be seeing that in the summer, under Tuchel, where they're buying players that Tuchel doesn't want.
As a price tag, I believe Drinkwater, we bought him for the same price that we bought Hakim Ziyech with, and Drinkwater hasn't fulfilled any of the expectations. Well, Hakim Ziyech is doing a half decent job.
Well, to be honest though, I don't like. You know what, right? You even summed it up because you were on Twitter yesterday. I liked the tweet that you said where it was. Look, this is where people need to understand the difference between criticising and crossing the line, and the abuse that Ziyech is getting is very, very scary. Very scary that people have the audacity to send racist abuse. I don't have any time for racism. I don't have any time for that. And I think Twitter needs to do something, because it's every game now. It seems to be that players, whether it's their religion or their race, it's getting a bit out of hand. But Twitter doesn't do anything about it. So big up yourself, Kazim, for speaking out about that yesterday.
Yeah.
So.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. No, I saw a lot of it. I saw a lot of it, and see, the thing is this: there are subtle phrases that are used, and there isn't many Arabs that play in the Premier League. There's a few, but there isn't many, and there are things that can be said that the general public will not understand them to be racist. But I called it soft core, where it deals with the kind of food we eat, the kind of activities we do, and then to use that as a slander, a form of slander. It's just unwarranted, and the issue, and the biggest issue of that is it's not coming from opposition fans; it's coming from our own fans. And it just makes it even worse. So I thought I should speak out about it and say something. And I'm glad that a lot of people responded positively to it. So it is what it is.
Yeah, but
Chris, mate. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, overall, just Twitter needs to do something, because it's every day there's racism. I'm seeing racism left, right, centre, and there's no room for it, to be honest. But yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
Chris, thank you very much. And Chris, tomorrow I need you to be here for the stream tomorrow. You're going to enjoy the stream tomorrow. I'm not going to give anything away because I still I'm waiting for confirmation from the guest. So by around 5 o'clock tomorrow evening, I'll announce the guest. But I think
Lukaku's agent.
I'm going to say this. You might not be too far away from it.
Hopefully,
I'm not going to go anymore. I'm not going to say anymore because it's. I'm being sarcastic about that, but you'll see. Tomorrow.
Lukaku doesn't have an agent. Lukaku is part of an organization, right?
No, he has an agent. I thought
he belonged to Rockefeller or something. Or Rock or something.
Rock Nation, but he does have an agent.
He's got an agent. He's got an agent. Tomorrow's Q&A. I'm trying to bring on guests for the Q&As, and I'm very lucky to have secured two very, very knowledgeable people who are going to be here with us tomorrow. So
the special guest is Boogeyman. He's the main one.
Boogeyman is not a guest. Boogeyman is not a guest. Boogeyman is part of the establishment. He is part of the house. He is the listen. I'm blue and he's lounge. That's it.
Yo, thanks, man.
Yeah, Chris. Thank you very much for coming on, mate.
Nobody's
Go on, Boogie.
Good one, everyone. Yeah.
Go,
when
Boogie.
Chris was talking about
see you later, Chris.
racial
Take care,
abuse
Chris.
on the internet, I've seen a few myself when it comes to Lukaku. Like people say stuff like, "That's what happened when you give that much money to someone that's supposed to be on a plantation." I'm just like, wow, come on, man. Like, I don't mind criticize someone, but when you go that deep, it's just that's when you're crossing lines. So I reported a few people on Facebook also, and I've seen some with Ziyech also. I mean, I accept the fact that I criticize Lukaku and Ziyech, but I think I don't criticize the group they belong to, like their race, their religions. I don't go that end on those territories, right? I keep it football and just say the money they're having and all those things. But it seems like some people cannot just handle just doing criticism at that level. They always need to go deep. And it's just sad, man. It's really sad.
I think one thing that people tend to forget is that when you criticize something.
Hold on, Vijay. I still have a guest on the list. Let me bring him in, and then they will address the topics. Tobago, how are you? Can you hear us now?
I'm good.
Tobago? Good, fantastic, Tobago. Let me hear what you have to say before you get disconnected again.
Uh, all I'm saying, like, I think the FA is treating us unfairly because, like, to be honest, we are not supposed to play yesterday's game. The Premier League squeezed that game in order us to play it because, like, we played on Saturday and then after 2 days we play again. So that's the kind of result we're getting from the players because they were so tired. I know it's an excuse, but we, yesterday we didn't see anything from our players because even that Ziyech goal was a beautiful goal, but well, goal from nowhere. But I think FA should do something about this. Also, can at least Chelsea board try to buy a left wing back or someone can play there. I know I like Alonso, but it's not good enough.
Yeah, Tobago.
Boogeyman.
Yeah, I have a question for you. So the fact that Ziyech did not celebrate, is that also fatigue for you?
No, no.
So when you look at the game yesterday, you have a player like Azpilicueta, Rudiger, and who else? Let me think. A lot of people talk Mount was not good, but Azpilicueta, for example, and Rudiger, do they look tired to you?
No, they played. Actually, those two played very well.
Even Alonso did Alonso look tired for you? No, what I'm going
Not
with this
really, but
logic, what I'm going with this logic is the first half, Chelsea played the first half. That game, it was dreadful. Like I just don't see what happened the first half. We did not play it at all. Is that fatigue? I don't believe it. When you ask me, are we more tired than other team? Yeah, we play more game. Yeah, is a possibility. But the sport and the physicality of players and the conditioning and all those things has developed so much. When the player has 2 or 3 days off, like the last game we played on Saturday, if I remember, or was it Sunday or Saturday? And we played yesterday. It was 2 days in the middle. And at least if it was that the first half was good and our second half was a little not good, I will give a chance to that argument of fatigue. But no, it just doesn't sit with me at all. And I'm not going to
So,
speculate. Yeah, sorry, yeah, go ahead.
so Boogeyman, what do you think? What do you think is the problem?
The motivation, like the fact that someone scored goal, he did not celebrate. And the coach come and said, okay, it was a fatigue. I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense to me. And listen, that's my opinion. I just did, if the first half was really good and the second half not good, I will accept it. But no, it wasn't the case at all. And I've seen player on that pitch, Azpilicueta, and Rudiger, and the other one that keep running all the time, and it was no fatigue. I don't think so.
The special guest is Fabrizio Romano.
Yeah, Fabrizio Romano is counting likes on my channel, man. Big up to you. Tobago, I have one more guest, and then I'm going to end the stream. Tobago, thank you very much for coming on. I want to see you tomorrow because I think you will enjoy the stream tomorrow. You will definitely enjoy the stream tomorrow. Thank you for your insight and thank you for your comment, Tobago. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tobago. Thank you. Okay, I have with us Olu. Olu, big up to you. Welcome to the stream. Let me hear what you got to say, Olu.
Oh, hi guys, how y'all doing?
Doing fantastic. Doing
Great.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. I see the show is coming to an end. I just want to use this opportunity, to talk about yesterday's game and sum up Chelsea Football Club season as a whole.
Just before you continue, I just want to tell you, Christmas is over. Can you change your profile picture?
Okay, I'll do just that. Absolutely.
That's okay.
It's okay.
Welcome,
Yeah, awesome, Puggy. So, what you got in yesterday's match? Honestly, it was quite disappointing. Brighton, they had a couple of players missing. Basuma, Lanana, they didn't give excuse. They still played better than Chelsea. You can see the energy in their team. I think we should give credit to Brighton. And, which gotten a lot of Chelsea players. I see a lot of people, scapegoating Lukaku not playing so good. I get it. Lukaku isn't doing great. He was brought into the team to come score the goals. But I think, the problem in Chelsea is way bigger than just Lukaku, Lukaku's problem. We have a front line and a midfield, especially the midfield, they can't progress the ball. And I did watch the likes of Maddison today play against Spurs. You could see what he was doing with the ball. He was the link from the midfield to the striker. We don't have players like that. I understand we like Mason Mount a lot, but Mason Mount is still learning the game. Too much pressure on Mason Mount. But I think we need other players to come on board to come deliver. The start hasn't been great for most of our attacking players, our midfielders. Assists, scoring goals as well, looking out from the likes of Lampard's period, it's not good enough. And I look at the wingers we have. I don't call them wingers because for me, they don't do the basic things as a winger. Callum Hudson-Odoi, I keep saying the same thing. For me, he's stagnated. For me, he's not growing. He keeps doing the same mistake all the time. And I know a lot of Chelsea fans like Callum, but when is it time for you to call it what it is? And I know Ziyech as well. I've been very critical about Ziyech. Man scored a very good goal, but his overall performance, being in the Chelsea shirt hasn't been great. That doesn't mean he's a bad player. I just feel Ziyech doesn't just suit a club like Chelsea. He can go somewhere else and do his thing. He's a very fantastic player, but for Chelsea, he's not a good player.
I have a question for you, Olu. I don't know if you were here earlier or you were listening earlier. When you mentioned Mount and Callum and who else, they were the only academy. Let me go all the way to James. Do you think after the Champions League last season, this season we should have should not use them as starters, like a starting part of the starting 11, but more like
integrate them gradually, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that was the argument today. That what you say about Cho? Why do we think Cho is good enough to take that position? Should we just put Cho on the bench and just bring him once in a while? And would he accept it if we put him in a situation where we try to explain him that he's too young and he needs to develop physically first before he make that position? So to do through that process, he should not be starting a lot of games. Do you think he will accept it?
It's not, for me, it's not about he accepting the situation. He's playing for Chelsea Football Club. Chelsea comes first. I don't know why a lot of Chelsea fans have this soft spot for Callum, especially. It's all about you being good enough. If you're not good enough, you got to sit on the bench. Let's be real. What does Callum has to show to back up him being a starter in Chelsea Football Club? Let's be real. We understand he came from the academy, he got a lot of potential, but with regard to the stats, delivery, he doesn't have it. Let's, take Callum Hudson-Odoi to Liverpool, in Man City, or even in Manchester United. You can see the young lad in Manchester United. What's his name? Greenwood. He's doing, he's delivering, and that's why he's playing. But for Callum, I don't see why he needs to start. And back to your question, which you got in Mason Mount, Reece James, and Callum. I don't think we had to make them start this season as a starter. I think for players like Mason Mount and Reece James, they can start because in their position, I will say they're like the better player in the position. And at the same time, we can also integrate players like Callum gradually into the team where we have experienced player, where they can learn from this experienced player. So for me, I think we Chelsea put a lot of pressure on this academy boys, and you can see the cracks right now. Too much pressure, and you expect these young lads to compete with Man City and Liverpool. Come on, guys. I think it's too much pressure from them.
Yeah, man. Thanks for answering the question. We talk about it many times.
Thank you very much for coming on. I just gotta say something. Eric, what are you doing, man? You are smashing it. you are smashing it. Eric is doing some madness. While Olu has been on the air talking, we must have hit at least 15 to 20 likes in the space of a couple of minutes.
Olu is the one doing it. Wow, Olu. That's amazing.
I know.
Man.
Olu is keeping them entertained while you have Eric in the background doing the cheerleading wall. Like, come on, let's get it. 1 more, 2 more, 3 more, 4 more, 5 more. Boy, listen, guys. Let me just add something. We are literally. Let me have a look. Let's get a refresh it. We are 11 subscribers away from hitting 9,200. We're on 9,189. Okay, so we're 11 subscribers away from hitting 9,200. If you guys can do that, that would be fantastic. That would be awesome.
Eric, take that over, man. That's your job, man.
Eric, Eric is gonna get paid overtime, man. He's gonna get a bonus. He's gonna get a commission. He's gonna get a commission.
Yo, Olu, have you been watching the African Cup of Nations?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Have you been watching the African Cup of Nations?
Oh, absolutely. My country, we smashed it today.
Where are you from? Nigeria, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm Nigerian.
Yeah, but have you seen any players that we should pay a little bit of attention to? Like,
okay,
I'm not from Nigeria.
I will tell you something from Nigeria. I'm not gassing me up, but did you take a look at Simon Moses today? That's what Callum should be doing. I'm not saying we should sign him. You can see what he does on the ball. He takes on his player, he crosses the ball, he causes a lot of havoc to the defender, isolating them on one-on-one. That's what Callum should be doing. Not just Callum, our wingers. That's a proper winger. You need to go watch him today and just watch him for just a little clip of what he did today.
What his name again, please?
Moses Simon.
Moses. Sorry, Simons.
Simon Moses, yeah.
And other than that's a winger, right? Nobody
absolutely. In the midfield, absolutely. I'm not trying to be biased again. We my club,
Nigeria,
my country. You need to go take a look at Wilfred Ndidi. The man is a monster.
I think I know that one. If for Leicester, eh?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Man is great. Superb.
Okay. He runs it for Leicester. He runs it for Leicester, first of all. Amazing gameplay from Ndidi, actually.
Alu.
I don't want to big up. I know Ola has been doing a good job, but I could say a lot more myself. But no, we're keeping the powder dry, and we're just being humble.
That's good.
Okay, you don't agree with Ola.
The Nigerian perspective, he's saying.
Yeah. Look, we know anybody who is watching. Let's just see what take it a step at a time and see what happens. But yeah, it's all right so far.
Why are you trying to be humble, man? If they're good, they're good.
I mean, it's just a good stages, so no point being.
Guys, I'm really sorry, but I really have to end the stream now. If you guys give me 1,000 likes, I'm still gonna have to end the stream. But it has been fantastic. We've had.
We got Roman on the chat. You still want to end it?
We've got Roman Abramovic jumping on. I will fund Tuchel. Hey, listen, fund the Blue Lounge, man. Fund the Blue Lounge. We need some subscribers up in here, man. So let's get some subscribers up in here. Listen, people. Once we hit 10,000 subscribers, we will be giving away a Chelsea shirt. You can choose home, away, third kit, training kit. If you want a training kit, we'll give you a training kit. And it's gonna be a random selection. On the day we hit 10,000, we'll have a stream where we'll be giving a shirt away to one of you guys. Make sure you subscribe though, because when we do that stream, panelists also. For the 10,000, even the panelists are eligible. The only person who can't win it is me. The issue is this: on that stream, I will have a limited criteria. You have to be a subscriber for at least 10 days before you can enter. So if you're subscribing now, you will definitely be eligible to win that shirt. If you subscribe on the day, unfortunately, you will not be able to win it. So start subscribing early, because once we hit 10,000 subscribers, we will be giving away a shirt. I'm also going to be doing a giveaway for the World Club Cup if we win that cup, I'll be doing a giveaway for that, and I'll be doing a giveaway for the Carabao Cup. But for those two, I'll be giving away baseball caps. But once we hit 10,000, I'll be giving away a Chelsea shirt of your choice. Verona, can I win? Of course you can. Of course you can. But you have to enter. And if you're lucky, you'll win. And you've seen the way I draw it. I'll tell you to put in hashtag whatever word it is, and we'll draw one of you guys. So we'll see. We'll see. Oh my God, we have the man himself, the OG, the one who funds Roman Abramovich. Dun dun dun. They're all here tonight. They're all here tonight.
I know who has to go, but
Hey, we're behind this man. We're behind this man. We're backing this man all the way. We're backing this man all the way.
Please.
Please. Yeah, but how do you do that? I don't know how that people change names that fast, man.
Yeah, no, they have these accounts already made up, man, and they
that
just
might
waiting.
be the reason. Because I went on. You remember when I was subscribing with you, I tried to hide my name. I didn't want you to know who I am. Actually,
know.
I just want you to know me as a boogeyman, right? Then I went there, check. I was like, why Google didn't make it easy just to change names? It wasn't possible.
We need to do an exclusive stream on why Boogeyman gave himself that name.
First of all, tell me, what is your name?
You don't want to know, man. Secret.
I mean, it's on the.
All right.
It's on Twitter. His
I
name
think
is on Twitter.
you are in a group, so you should be able to already. You see, you just didn't know it was me.
See. You're wrestling fan. The wrestlers have come in.
We are literally 6 subscribers away from 200. 6 subscribers away from 200.
Kasim.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about getting that 6 right now, okay. I think we're going to get that number. We're going to hit that 5 number. Before that, I just wanted to quickly say something about Ziyech. It could be a controversial statement because most of them have agreed the other side of things. But I'd like to say something with respect to Ziyech. I don't think so. Ziyech not celebrating is a big issue, as much as people make it out to be. The reason why I say that is because celebration is something that shouldn't be looked at as a compulsion. People like to celebrate the goal. People sometimes give respect to the opponent. People do whatever they want to do after scoring that goal. You could see all the teammates coming together, wishing Ziyech for the goal, and that is exactly what is expected because the team is expected to do that, and they did that. With respect to his individuality on celebrating the goal, we've seen Ziyech doing the same before as well, and maybe that is how he likes to celebrate. Right, even against Ajax, even with against Chelsea when he played in Ajax the previous year, when he scored from the set piece directly to the goal, actually a corner directly to the goal, he didn't celebrate basically, right?
Isn't it?
So
Him doing this, I can't remember. For some reason, I feel like when he scored that goal against Manchester City, he was running like this. All right, I can't remember.
Yeah,
it's just
he does this. He does this one also.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, this one also.
Okay. Thank you. So
right, he does that. But the thing is, it doesn't have to be a mandatory thing. He doesn't have to do it every single time to express that sort of an emotion. If that is how he feels, maybe he is frustrated that most of his shots did not go in and one went in. He's like so relieved more than celebrating. That relief is something that we're seeing. So I think we are. Not just us, the media is making too much of what is happening in Chelsea Football Club just to make sure that the club is a bit rattled in terms of how we perform all together as a team.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Listen, guys, hold on. I really got to go. We're 3 away. We're 3 away from having.
I want to give you the break, but I think it's next time then.
No. I can't. We'll pick him up tomorrow. Unless somebody's watching the stream, and they want to do it, they can do it. Almost 4-hour stream. I don't do 4-hour streams very often. I'm knackered. I'm shattered. But thank you. No, I've done longer. Unfortunately, but it's very close. I want to say thank you to everyone for subscribing, for liking, for taking part in the chat, taking part on the panel, taking part and keeping the stream going for the past 4 hours. Great. Yeah, listen, family. It is a family. MCIG, see you tomorrow, fam. We are a family here on the Blue Lounge, so big up to everyone. Tomorrow, cracking stream coming up tomorrow. Cracking stream. Make sure you guys have your questions ready because you'll be enjoying that. You'll be enjoying that. So, guys, thank you all for taking part. Thank you all for being here. I'm gonna bid you all farewell. Blessings, and I will see you all tomorrow at 7 p.m. Have a good night. Peace.
Good night.